Story time about how my ex-boyfriend broke into my house and tried to kill both of us.
So we were gonna go sneak out of the house because I was gonna go meet a guy and the guy was with her guy friend.
I've known this guy friend my entire life.
And her boyfriend knew that.
Yeah. So we were getting ready and he kept calling my phone trying to come over and we were trying to go hang out with these people.
We had music blasting and he broke into the house and then busted into her room and then started yelling at us.
Like yelling at us.
And he had a bottle of juice in his hand. Like a full bottle of juice in his hand.
Might I add, he broke in through my brother's window. So then he went into my brother's room. Like, my brother's not home. He went to my brother's room and was just sitting in there for a while. And we were about to leave. Like, we were supposed to be leaving. And he was just sitting in my brother's room.
Oh, basically, we were going to leave him there because we already had plans and we were supposed to be out of the house by now. Literally had to meet people and they were just sitting there while we were dealing with him.
We were about to go out my window and then he came in the room and started drinking a bunch of juice in front of us.
It was a big bottle and he downed it all. Right in front of us.
Right in front of us.
And we kept telling him to go home too because he lived like right next to her house. So we ended up not meeting these people and we just stayed in her bed while he was sitting in her bed.
So then we were gonna go to my brother's room because we were like done with him. Like he was acting like crazy, like he was getting crazy. So we were gonna go to my brother's room because I don't have a lock on my door, but my brother does and he wasn't home. So then he grabbed me by the throat and threw me on the bed. So then I was scared, so I went to the corner. But then he was so freaking not in the right state of mind. He started hitting Caitlin and was like, kept calling her my name.
So he just kept hitting us and yelling at us, and then eventually he went into the bathroom and threw up everywhere.
Like literally everywhere. So basically at this point he had poisoned me.
If you know, you know.
He came in my room and laid on my bed and would not move or get up or go home at all. And my parents were on their way home. So at that point I told him to leave, like fine. I was like, actually you need to go home, and then he smacked me across the face.
Yeah. So she went to bed, and I went to her brother's room because no one else was in there. And then her mom walked into her room and then thought that the person laying next to her was me, but it was actually
because I covered up with a blanket.
So yeah.
So then my brother came home, and he's a real one, so he helped us drag him outside.
And he ended up going home, and then he acted like nothing happened after that day.
And that he wasn't in the wrong for nothing.
Yeah. Might we add, he was older than us. So yeah, basically that's our story time on what happened.
This is our story time about why we're never gonna speak to a man again.
Yep. Thank you guys for watching. I love you guys so much. Bye.
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 My boyfriend faked his own death and got away with it for years, so now I'm going to confront him. What's the worst way you've ever been dumped? Because this definitely tops the list for me. My boyfriend, let's call him Andrew, and I had been dating for about 3 years, and I thought we were the perfect couple. We were talking about getting married. We had just moved in together, and I thought he was the perfect man for me. He was like a man that was written by women. The worst thing about our relationship is that Andrew was an entrepreneur, so he was constantly traveling. He was gone for about half the month, usually a little more than half the month, but whatever. He was really successful and super passionate about his business, so I really didn't have that big of a problem with it. One day, I'm living my picture-perfect life with my dream man, and the next day, everything completely changes. Andrew was on a business trip, and I get a call from his mom, and she's absolutely hysterical on the phone. I'm trying to figure out what's wrong, and finally, she tells me that Andrew had been in an accident, and he didn't make it. My world absolutely crumbled. I was building my entire life with this man, and then one day, he's just gone. I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping, I was just a shell of myself. Honestly, I just thought I was never gonna be the same ever again. Like, a part of me was now missing and I could never get it back. The funeral, there was a funeral, was extremely small. It was just his immediate family, a few close friends, me and my family. And I gave a eulogy. Yeah, I gave a eulogy for a man that was not dead. I bet you that narcissist watched all of the videos too, just seeing what everyone said about him. And then, just like that, I had to figure out what life was gonna look like without him. I tried to stay in touch with his family over the years, but it was just hard. I loved them, but talking to them was really, really difficult because it just reminded me of how much I missed him. And just like that, 2 years has passed and he's still so present in my life. I think about him all the time. I still wear his old clothes to go to sleep. I have pictures of him everywhere. I talk about him all the time. Again, like he was my soulmate. Or so I thought. But a few days ago, my coworker came up to me and she was so excited to show me the photos she took on her recent trip to London. As we're flipping through the photos, one of them catches my eye. I was like, wait, stop, go back to that one. Can I see that? And immediately I start bursting out into tears because the photo is a photo of my coworker at dinner, and behind her at a different table is two men, and one of the men looks exactly like Andrew. So I'm just getting more and more emotional looking at this photo because he looks exactly like Andrew. And as I'm looking at the photo, I notice the tattoo on his arm. It is the exact tattoo that Andrew has. And it's a unique tattoo. I've never seen anyone else with it. And in that moment, I knew it was Andrew. And then I noticed on his wrist is the custom leather bracelet that I bought him for our 2-year anniversary. At this point, there's no doubt in my mind, this is Andrew. But I'm completely shocked. Like, how does one even react to that? Like, there is no correct reaction. I'm telling my coworker, I'm like, listen, I might sound crazy, but my boyfriend's not dead. He's alive in London. Which is insane because he used to travel to London for work all the time. At this point, I don't even know what my next steps are. Do I call his family? Does his family know? Am I the only one that doesn't know? Like, how deep is this con that he's running? So I decided it's time to start going detective mode because all I have is a photo of Andrew at this restaurant. So I asked my coworker what the name of it is because it's kind of this small mom and pop restaurant, and I called them up. I do an international call to this restaurant all the way in London. So I called the restaurant and I asked to speak to the manager, and the guy on the phone is like, actually, I'm the owner. I'm like, even better. And I tell him that I'm gonna email him over a photo because my friend and I were at dinner and both our phones died, and this really nice man at the table behind us offered to let us borrow his phone, and he ended up leaving and he forgot to get his phone back, and I'm trying to find a way to get it back to him. I was like, can you help me and let me know if you recognize him? He was like, of course, email me over the photo. So I do. I get his email, I email it over, and I'm waiting for him to receive it. And all of a sudden I hear him go, oh my gosh, yeah, it's Daniel. He and his wife have been coming here ever since we opened 5 years ago. They were one of my first customers. So, who's Daniel? Why does Daniel have a wife that he's been with for at least 5 years? I guess there were no other questions at that point. Those were them. I said, perfect, thanks. I'll bring the phone in and you can give it to him then, and just hung up because I was in complete shock at that point. The owner did give me his full name, so I was able to go and look him up online. There weren't a ton of photos of him. I think he was trying to stay off the radar, but there were about 3 pictures of him that I could find within the last 2 years. I never had any idea that he had a full double life in London, and I never had any idea that he wasn't actually dead. So I was just really going through a lot. The only thing that I could think to do is book a trip to London and show up right outside of his door. Kind of like Conrad in The Summer I Turned Pretty when he went to Paris, but less romantic. There's a lot more to this story, and I'm gonna figure it out. My boyfriend faked his death for over 2 years, and I finally got to confront him. Okay, if you haven't seen part 1 to the story, go watch that and come back here. But to catch everybody up, I was dating my boyfriend Andrew for almost 3 years when all of a sudden I get a call and I find out that while he was traveling for work, he got in an accident and didn't make it. I was devastated. I went to his funeral. I cried with his family, and for the past 2 years, I've been grieving him. But then, all of a sudden, last week, I learned that he's alive and well with his wife in London. You've never seen a person book a plane ticket faster than I booked that plane ticket to London. I didn't even tell any of my friends or family that I was going. I think a part of me was just hoping that I was wrong and that it wasn't him. It wasn't until I was actually on the plane to London that I sat back and realized that I had just been running on adrenaline since I found out that Andrew was still alive. I had no plan. I was on a plane on the way to London, and I had no idea how to find this man. I don't have any way to contact him. He's been dead to me for the past 2 years. The only thing I knew is that he was a regular at that restaurant where my friend ate and got a photo of him. So that was my only option. I was just gonna have to go there and hope for the best. So I touched down in London, and I don't even go to my hotel first. I book it straight to the restaurant, and I got there literally 5 minutes before it closed. So when I get to the restaurant, there's a man standing at the front. I was like, hey, by any chance are you the owner of this restaurant? And he was like, yeah, I am. How can I help you? And I told him that I was the girl that he had spoken to on the phone about Daniel's phone. Daniel, yeah. Apparently, that's Andrew, my Andrew's real name. I told him that I wanted to return Daniel's phone to him himself so that I could thank him for letting me borrow it and just being such a nice guy. I was convinced he was gonna kick me out of his restaurant because I felt like I was coming off so weird, but instead he looked at me, he smiled, and he said, that is such a nice gesture. Lucky for you, Daniel comes in every single morning at 7 a.m. and he drinks his coffee right at that corner table over there. I was like, every day? He's like, yeah, like clockwork every single day, which was absolutely crazy to hear because he did the exact same thing at the exact same time at a cafe near our house when we were together. So I go back to my hotel and I attempt to sleep that night, but obviously that didn't happen. I was just playing over and over in my head how this interaction was gonna go, but nothing was gonna prepare me for what happened. So I get to the restaurant the next morning, the minute it opens at 5:30 a.m. and I wait. I sit at a table near where his corner spot is. And as it gets closer and closer to 7, I realize that I cannot do this. I cannot confront him like this at 7 in the morning in this cafe. And also part of me was still hoping that this was all a mistake and it was just the craziest coincidence of my whole life. But it was like 6:50, so I had to think fast what I wanted to do. So what I decided was to take off the ring that I wore every single day. It was a ring that Andrew got me for my last birthday that we spent together, and it was super unique. He got it custom made and I loved it. And I went and I put the ring on that corner table where Andrew sits because I know that if it's Andrew, he'll see that ring and recognize it immediately. And then I left the restaurant and I found a spot where I could sit a little bit away, but I could still see the front door of the restaurant and I could see in the windows where that corner table was. And then at about 7:02 a.m., there he was. I saw him walking up towards the restaurant and I can't even describe how I was feeling when I saw him. Sick, like absolutely sick. To my surprise, he's not alone. He's with a woman, I'm assuming his wife, and not one, but 2 children. The older one looks to be about 7 or 8, and the younger one is a toddler. And based on the age of the older kid, yeah, it was born before Andrew and I were together. So he had a full child while he was with me for 3 years. So I watch all of them go inside and I'm just waiting to see what happens. But immediately the toddler grabs the ring off the table and then I see Andrew kind of fish it out of his hands. And when Andrew looks to see what's in his hand, I see him just go pale. His wife is talking to him. Now she looks concerned because he looks so concerned. They're just talking back and forth. And all of a sudden, I just see him gather his stuff and just leave. Just leaves his family. So he walks out the front door and he's looking everywhere trying to find me. But I did a good job. I was wearing a baseball cap and I had my book that I was reading. So I just kind of like covered my face a little bit. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, I was kind of like one of those stereotypical cartoon characters when they're trying to spy on somebody, but you know what? It worked. He didn't see me. And then he just leaves. He walks back down the road, left his family in the restaurant, and I knew it is Andrew. There's no doubt about it. His reaction to the ring told me everything that I needed to know. And about an hour and a half later, I get a text on my phone from a number that I didn't have with an address and a time, 7 p.m. Oh, he still remembers my number. How romantic. When I get to the restaurant that he sent me, I walk in and he's already there. Seeing him up close for the first time, I can't even describe how I was feeling. It was insane. I walk over to the table. He gets up and starts to go to hug me. I'm like, oh, do not touch me. No. And for what felt like forever, we're just sitting there staring at each other, not saying anything. I'm just looking at him because, I mean, I literally just thought that he was dead and now he's right here in front of me. The man that I thought I was gonna marry. Finally, he says, so it's really good to see you. How have you been? How have I been? I said, well, I don't know if you've heard, but my long-term boyfriend actually passed away really unexpectedly a few years ago. And I've really been struggling with it, really been grieving. It's been hard. So not the best. What about you? That's when he says, yeah, you know, you deserve an explanation. I was like, yeah, you think? You think I deserve an explanation? And that's when he tells me the most insane thing I've ever heard in my entire life. He tells me that his wife and him have now been together about 8 years, but in the first couple years of their marriage, she got a job opportunity in London and she moved there with their oldest child. But he still had to wrap up business in the United States, so he couldn't move with her immediately full time. Then one night he meets me at a bar. I ask him his name and for some reason, he decides to say it's Andrew. And so it began, his whole separate life as Andrew. When, yeah, his real name all along was Daniel. And then after 3 years, all of the things with his business were settled, so he was ready to move to London full time. So that's when he had to end our relationship. I said, why didn't you just end our relationship? Why didn't you just break up with me? Like a normal person would have. You faked your death. He was like, it was the only way. I had to make sure that you never tried to contact me or find me or found out that I had a wife because I didn't want to destroy my family. Yeah, that's That's normal. He also said that he felt like he needed to fake his death because Andrew became such a big part of him and a part of his life that he loved. And he needed to go through the symbolism of Andrew dying so that he could just move on to being Daniel full time. What? I'm sorry. What? I was like, okay, so does your family know? Like, what's going on? He was like, yeah, no, everyone knows. You were the only one that thought I was dead. I said, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, you were the only one. I was like, what about the funeral? What about everybody at the funeral? He was like, yeah, I mean, like, you and your family thought that I had passed, but yeah, everybody in my family and my friends, they knew. I'm sorry. I don't know if y'all have seen the show Jury Duty, where it's like the one guy and everyone else are actors. Like, that's what happened to me. Like, I thought that everybody was grieving this man. They're all sobbing. Great actor. Apparently, family full of amazing actors. Because they look distraught. Also, family of terrible people. Because how? How do you do that to somebody? He was like, I'm sorry. It just seemed to make the most sense in the moment. I was like, I'm sorry. I just don't know anyone who would think that that was the way to go about all of this. Then he says, I still care about you so much. I love you. I think about you every day. I check in on you every once in a while, see what you're up to. I was like, shut it. I don't want to hear it. So I get up and I start walking out because I have nothing else to say to this man and I don't want to hear another word come out of his mouth. And as I'm leaving, that's when I hear him have the audacity to say, so you're not going to tell my wife, right? I just look at him. I don't even respond. And then I leave. But to be honest, I'm a little conflicted if I should tell his wife or not. I know I should, but also they have a family and they seemed really happy when I saw them at the restaurant. So I don't know. Maybe I just go home and let him live on as Daniel and leave Andrew in the past. Let me know what you think and I'll let you know what happens.
Story time when I thought somebody took a hit out on my ass. I had just turned 19 years old and I'm spending the summer on this little island off the coast of North Carolina called Cape Hatteras. So on this island, they have these long roads that the locals call stretches, right? And what a stretch is pretty much just a long road in between the villages. And there's like nothing but the sound on one side and the ocean on the other. So on this particular day, it is a beautiful sunny day. Okay, I had just turned 19. Like the temperature was just perfect. I had all my windows down. I was cranking my music. I still remember what song I was listening to. It was a song called Heart Burst Into Fire by a band called Bullet for My Valentine. So it's a whole ass vibe in my car, right? I'm just in my own little fucking world. I'm leaving Buxton and I'm getting on the stretch, right? Buxton is the village. It's the town, if you will. I'm on the stretch and all of a sudden, my fucking windshield shatters. Like, and I'm freaking the fuck out. I lose control of the car. I go to the other lane. My whole fucking life flashes before my eyes. I'm just losing it. My first thought, right, being from California, is somebody is fucking shooting at me. I can't believe I didn't crash that car or flip that car. I can't believe there was no one on the other lane. Like, it was a fucking miracle because I lost control, like lost control. So after I'm done like losing control and I regain control, the fucking car stops and I just take off. I don't even bother looking around to see what the fuck. Because again, in my head, I'm from fucking California. Somebody is shooting at me. Run. So I'm taking the fuck off. Pedal to the metal. I am scared to death. Pure adrenaline running through my body to get to the next village, right? The next village is Avon. I get to Avon. I turn in on my left. There's the Ace Hardware store there. I pull into the parking lot and I'm fucking screaming. I'm causing a scene. Everyone in that parking lot turns to look at me. So an older gentleman runs over to me and he's like, hey, you know, are you okay? He's checking up on me. Can I help you? What's going on? Let me help you. And I told him, I was like, somebody is shooting at me. They're trying to shoot me. And he's looking at me like, what the fuck? Now, y'all, okay, y'all, this is a very, how do I say this? This is a very nice area, okay? Shit like that doesn't happen over there. So right away, he's looking at me like kind of skeptical, like, what the fuck? But he doesn't say anything. He dead has had that look of like, bitch, this is not Compton. Nobody is shooting at you. But he didn't say nothing. His face said everything though. And what I'm assuming was his wife walks over and she's like trying to like calm me down. And I notice he like takes a lap or two around the car, right? He's like examining the car and he walks over to me. He's like, well, I don't see any bullet holes. He's like, well, tell me what happened. And I told him exactly what happened. I was like, look, I was leaving Buxton and I was getting onto the stretch And then right there, as soon as I said that, he like kind of smiled, right? And I stopped. I'm like, what? He's like, I know exactly what happened to your car. So did you know, because I certainly didn't, did you know that seagulls and other birds, mostly seagulls and sea osprey, I think it was the bird he say, they like to grab oysters and clams, and since they can't, you know, they don't have hands and shit, they can't open it, they will grab them and fly really, really, really fucking high into the air and then drop them on concrete, you know, the shit roads are made out of, and they'll eat what's inside of them. And I guess that was the thing that happened out there. I did not know that, even though I had spent 3rd grade through like 8th grade living there, and never once did that happen to any of my mom's cars or anything. But I guess, you know, the stars aligned for me that day, and the fucking bird just chose my car, or, you know, long story short, my shit got fucked up and nobody was trying to kill me. And now, every time I drive by the fucking beach, I look fucking crazy when I drive, because I drive like this. And then, like, when I have someone with me, they're like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, these fucking birds, man, I'm telling you, they'll fuck your shit up.
I'm an alcoholic. I'm in recovery. I'm also an addict. I'm in recovery. I've been sober for 5 years. Let's get ready for the gym while I talk to you guys about if I still get urges, even though I've been sober for 5 years. This has been a question I've been getting a lot is, even though you've been sober for a little bit of time, do you still get urges? Is it still something that you think about? Do you want to drink? Do you want to go out? Is it hard? And honestly, there are a couple different like pieces to this answer. So the first thing I want to say is when I was drinking and using, it was all that I could think about. I was obsessed with it. It was this great obsession to try to control and enjoy my drinking. Couldn't stop until I felt like I did it, and I obviously could never ever control it. But my obsession was to drink on my mind all the time. I will say that since getting sober, that obsession has left me. I no longer am obsessed with drinking. It's not something I think about all the time. I'm not like clawing at like the counters. Like maybe in the beginning, like it was difficult, but honestly, both times I got sober, I was so done with drinking. My life with drinking is miserable. Honestly, the obsession to use and drink was lifted from me pretty quickly. That is just my experience. I'm not saying that it's the same timeline for everybody. Do I still think about drinking? And the answer to that is, of course. I'm an alcoholic, so of course I'm going to think about drinking, and I'm not going to beat myself up if I think about it. But the difference is now when I think about drinking, something that I do not marinate on, I do not sit on, and it's not a thought like an obsessive thought. It's not like I'm wanting to drink so bad. There have been some situations where I needed to remove myself because I felt like I was not in a good place mentally. There was alcohol around, and those two things combined could potentially lead to a relapse. I know myself and I know what it feels like when I'm in that situation, especially having relapsed before. I kind of like know what to look out for. Feeling that way, like I have fully left situations before. Like I remember I was at a wedding one time, literally got there, saw everybody drinking and was feeling super left out. Just wanted to like be a part of what everybody was doing. Felt super different than, felt super left out, having a lot of anxiety, and the idea sounded a little too good in that moment. It was when I knew that I needed to leave. I was like, I would rather leave and have people be upset with me than stay and risk my sobriety. Like, I'm sorry, but my sobriety is just so important to me, and without my sobriety I would have nothing. So that wasn't that long ago. Like that was like maybe a year ago, a year and a half ago. There are still moments, like I am not perfect. Those moments, like it happened at that wedding, happen like every once in a while. I wouldn't say that it's something that happens often, but drinking still crosses my mind. It's not like I never think about it. Like for example, yesterday I was walking through my new neighborhood. I was walking to Starbucks, grab a coffee with my dog, walking past all these cute little bars and restaurants. Always like dreamed of living in this part of LA. Like, wow, wouldn't that be cool if I could just like go grab a little drink and I could literally walk home? What if I still drank? Like what would my life look like? Don't let myself sit on that for too long, but I also am very clear on my condition. Like I know Jordan is not just gonna have one drink and walk home. No universe in which that's happening. I believe that like once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. That's why I say I'm recovering, because I don't ever want to fall into the trap where my alcoholism is talking to me, but it's talking to me in the sound of my own voice, so I think it's me. Oh, you could just go over to that little bar, like you could grab one drink, like you'd be fine. very clear that I would not be fine, and it would not be one drink, and it would be 1,000, and I would black out, and I would definitely not have an apartment if I started drinking. Answer the question, yes, I just still do think about alcohol, but it's not in a fantasizing way. I'm not thinking about it like fantasize about it like I want to do it, but a lot of people have been asking me, and I'm not gonna like lie and be like, no, I never think about alcohol. I never think about alcohol. I've been sober for 5 years. First of all, like, I've been sober a blip of time. I have so much more to learn. I have so much more to go. One day at a time, and I always want to be evolving and growing. I cannot just be like, I got this sobriety thing, I'm good. It's something I need to work on every day to try to like be stronger, just like stay connected to my program and my recovery, because without it, those little ideas can come in and I'll have like no mental defense against them. Does that make sense? If I'm not like staying connected with other sober people and like working my recovery program, I can easily get those ideas, let them sit for a little bit too long. Nothing good happens when those sit. So for me, it's been just part of recovery to still have those thoughts. Like I said, they're definitely few and far between, and I don't sit on them. I just remember like how great my life is without alcohol, and how there is nothing in my life today that I could do if I was still drinking. Try to play the tape out. So if I get an idea that's like, well, what if you just went, like, what if hypothetically, like, you just went and had one, then like you had a fun night and blah blah blah, play the whole tape out, Jordan. Don't just stop the tape there. What's the rest of the tape? You have 1, then you have 2, then you have 5, then you have 10, then you black out, get in someone's car, you end up somewhere, you don't come home, nobody knows where you are, you lose your phone. I don't know if that's helpful. Just remember, like, this too shall pass. If you like get an urge, like for me, what I usually do is just play the tape out, and honestly that helped me so much in the beginning of my sobriety. I prefer my life sober. Without a doubt, my worst days sober have been better than my best days when I was drinking. Is 100% true, and I believe it always will be. Love you guys. Bye.
Story time on how I went to the bar with my Uber driver. Not making this shit up. Another day in paradise, or another day in batshit crazy, not normal. Let's start. So we're taking the story back like I usually do, but not throwing it all the way back at homecoming because I wasn't in high school. We're throwing it back to college. What year was this? I try to black out college as much as I can. I'm gonna say, just for the story's sake, probably junior year of college, sophomore year of college. So the peak of I could not put a vodka Sprite down, or a vodka Red Bull. That's how you know it was bad, okay? Once again, I've said this in other story times before. During sophomore, junior, and senior year of college, I did not know how to stay home. Now, granted, I don't know how to stay home now, but I feel like I kind of like circled myself out, right? Like, I'll go out on Saturdays, but like I have a job now. This time I was working half an hour a week. And somehow I was paying in, I don't even fucking know, paper clips. I was like trading for a house at the bar, but I would be at the bar every single weekend, 3 days during the weekend, like Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That was a month-ass hangover after that. It was ridiculous. So once again, this was the peak of me going out, the peak of me doing the most outlandish, crazy shit with no consequences. I mean, I definitely had consequences, but in my head, I was like, la, 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 like whale noises, I'm on SpongeBob, right? Where's Mrs. Pearl? So this one starts on not my birthday, but one of my best friend's birthdays. Ooh, let's start it up. Now, where I would go out, 90% of the time, it was in my college town, okay? So my university was right there, bars were right there. It was just a little quick waddle. Keep in mind, I did not live on campus, but I knew a lot of people that lived on campus. It was like a 20-minute commute for me. That's a quick Uber ride, babe. Now, my one friend group, this wasn't my college friend group, but this was like my pipsqueak like friend group from like years and years and years, like family friend, one of those, right? We're soul bonded, okay? We've always been close, and I'm gonna give the nicknames. I think there's been stories with them in it before. Love them so fucking bad. We're gonna say Q-tip for one, because I love her, and I think she uses Q-tips. I'm not sure, but she makes me think of a Q-tip. Second one, we're gonna call, hold on. We're just gonna call her Plum. I don't know why. I have no fucking clue, but like she's gonna be a Plum for today. So we got Q-tip and Plum, okay? The two girls. Once again, I've known them my whole fucking childhood, and we started doing this thing like midway through college, because once again, I went to one college, Q-tip went to the same college as me, and then Plum was not at our college, okay? She was going to a whole different type of college, but once again, we all still lived in the area because me and Q-tip both commuted to our college. We were going to the same college, and Plum was going to another college, but she was staying at home, okay? And we've always all been really close. Like, we've gone through a fucking lot together, like 18 different fucking friend groups, and somehow we all three stuck, which we all three have issues, but yeah. Midway through the year of college, we were like, hold on, like, we need to start catching up more, because like we would text, like we had a little group chat, but we were like, we need to like pick a day where like we're always gonna fucking hang. And it was a scattered ass day every time, but we came up with the word wine nights. still echoes through my head because wine was not even open throughout wine night. Maybe the first wine night that we've ever had, maybe we started with wine, but it quickly got to a point that wine night became a thing that we would go to Plum's basement. Like, we'd all congregate there like it was some weird ass ritual, and we would just start opening bottles of vodka, Jaeger, whiskey, like, ooh, okay, I'm starting to get goosebumps. But like anything but wine, like that was the game. But we called it wine night, and we were like, okay, that's our night that we're gonna catch up. And by the end of the night, we'd all be speaking in tugs, hugging each other, listening to Adele, and talking about like our childhood issues. Okay. But we realized we were gonna do a little bit more for birthdays, right? We had to get out of the house because we have to remind people, come on, we're still childhood friends from 5th grade. Come on, dress up a little bit. I want to say for this one, it was Q-Tip's birthday, and we had this tradition once again where we were gonna go out to this one. I don't even know what the fuck to call this place for, like, story's sake. Dungeon. I'm literally just gonna call it a dungeon because it basically is a fucking dungeon, but there's a place in this city, and we went there once for one of our birthdays, and we're like, okay, that's our tradition. Like, whenever we celebrate one of our birthdays, we're gonna go to the dungeon. Now, the dungeon, it's not actually a dungeon, but it feels like a dungeon because so much demonic shit, I feel like, happens there whenever we go there. It's just always something happening. But it's, the way to set it up, it's a huge bar with multiple bars. Like, you pay a cover to get in, and there's about like 10 to 15 different clubs in this one vicinity, and you get in with the $15 voucher. Yeah. It's huge. There's concerts there usually, and usually during the regular weekends when there's not an event, it's not busy at all. Like, there will be people there, but it's so fucking big. Like, the capacity is like probably 5,000, 6,000 people. But it was something that we could do because, once again, love Q-Tip and love Plum, but they love country music. Baby, I don't have a banjo. Let's find something we can all do. And once again, this place had a club for everything. They had like an EDM club, a country club, a grass clipping club, an agriculture club, a book club, a chess club, any type of club you could think of. It was all lined up, okay? So I'm an EDM girly and they're country girlies. So I was like, okay, like we could like go from go, whatever, okay? So this was Q-Tip's big day this time. And I was like, ooh, you know where we're going? The dungeon. And we'd honestly get so fucking excited. Like, we get so trashed before going to the dungeon, like, for one of our birthdays, because we're like, okay, finally, we're getting out the fucking house. Like, let's pregame, like, whatever. Keep in mind, during this time, I had plenty out the house. I did not live at my house, okay? But I was so excited because I was like, like, we're leaving the house. Acting like I've never done it before. Like, we'd go out, like, to the dungeon on a Saturday for one of our birthdays, and I was already out, like, 4 weeks before, right? So, Q-Tip's birthday happens. We all meet at Plum's house. I'm pretty sure we met at Plum's house, from my recollection. And I want to say it was me, Plum, Q-Tip, and Q-Tip's boyfriend, okay? From what I can remember, I'm pretty sure it was... yeah, it was us four. And we were like, okay, let's start pre-gaming. We start pre-gaming. Of course, it's not fucking with wine. We're whining a little bit because we're starting to get fucking drunk and emotional. But, like, oh, it's nothing but vodka, okay? And, of course, for birthdays, we'd pre-game the fucking most. Like, granted, wine night was just a huge pre-game in itself. But, like, this was, like, okay, we're going to, like, the biggest concert, the biggest event. We're going to meet Selena Gomez. Like, that's what we're acting like. We get extremely fucking wasted. And it gets to the point, like... we're all drunk and we're playing that little game of like, okay, let's order the Uber in like 10 minutes. 40 minutes will go by and we're like, okay, like, should we order the Uber now? And something about me, I love the pregame. I love to not leave the pregame because I'm having so much fucking fun. So I'd be like, oh wait, let me start another story, right? It's hitting about 11:30 at this point, and we're like, okay, we need to get out of the fucking house. And like, it's getting to the point, I think like Q-Tip's like, should we even go? And I'm like, okay, fuck no, we're going. Uber is ordered. So we're starting to get more and more drunk at this point. We're taking minis. Finally, Uber arrives. Granted, normally when we Uber to the dungeon, I don't really remember the Ubers that much, but this one I do. Because we get in the car and I'm not trying to put a label on Uber drivers, but I swear every Uber I normally get, it's just an older white man, okay? That's just how it is. That's my luck. I don't fucking know. Usually when I sit in the car, I'm dead silent or I'm really drunk and I'm talking. I'm like, maybe I should shut up now, right? He's not liking any of my babbles. So I remember like I was late to the Uber because they all got in the car before me and I'm over here like, hold on, I gotta find my lip gloss. Baby, you don't need lip gloss. You look a mess regardless. Finally, I find my fake little lip gloss I probably bought for $2 on Amazon. Proceed to run outside and everyone's already, it's a big like minivan, okay? The doors slide open and I look in the driver's seat and I'm like, do we have a new recruit? Why is this a baddie? I want to say it was about like a 26, 27, 28-year-old girl. And I'm like, girl, don't make us drink alone. I get in, I'm like, hey girl. She's like, hi. She has a really, really, really thick accent. I remember we ended up asking her. She was from Ukraine, okay? Ukrainian baddie. Hey, babe. So we're in the car and we're just babbling with her. And we're babbling among ourselves, but we're just like, girl, like, what do you do for sport? Like, what's the vibe? She's telling us all about her life. Keep in mind, she has a very, very thick accent, so sometimes hard to understand her. But like from what I'm getting, she just moved to our state from Ukraine. And we're like, I always say, the state that I live in, like, baby, go to California from Ukraine, right? Like, this is not a good representation of the U.S., or maybe it actually is, but like, You know, like, see something more, maybe even New York, like, not here. Oh my gosh, I almost just said the name of the dungeon, like the real legal name. But we're babbling, and then we pull up to the dungeon, right? And we're, like, pulling in, she's trying to find, like, the entrance. And, like, I remember saying to her, I was like, girl, like, come out with us, right? And I said this, like, multiple times throughout the car ride, and I've said this to other Uber drivers before, but I'm like, come out, don't make us drink alone. She's giggling, she's like, actually, I might. And I'm like, okay, like, she's not fucking coming out. But I'm drunk, so I'm like, like, she is. I think she ends up asking for one of my friend's numbers. I think it was Plum's number that she got, or Q-Tip's. I'm not sure which one, but she got one of their numbers. And she was like, yeah, like, give me your number. Like, and we're like, no, like, girl, like, come out. And she's like, I'll see how the night goes. And we're like, okay, she's not fucking coming out. So we walk into the dungeon, and immediately we book it to the bar. Granted, we don't need to be at the bar anymore. We need to be barred from the fucking bar. We're already so drunk, like, we can barely form sentences at this point, right? The only one that's probably a little bit coherent is Q-Tip's boyfriend. Get up to the bar. I'm like, a vodka Sprite, please. Put it on the house if you can. They did not put it on the house, as they fucking end up drinking more. And then the night starts getting a little tangled. Plum ends up going missing for a little bit. I'm like, okay, where's Plum? Then I end up going missing. Like, everyone's getting to their point. Everything's fucking blurry. I end up smoking, not my best moment, but I'm smoking a cigarette with a random 40-year-old. It was two 40-year-olds. I asked them to rate me on a scale of 1 to 10. They were telling me I was a 10 out of 10. Like, not a good look. But that's where my friends found me. And then we ended up, like, going into another club. All of a sudden, I lose all of my friends, like Plum and Q-Tip. Completely my fault. I think I end up, like, floating away. I end up talking to a random stranger. I end up getting back to Q-Tip, and who the fuck is Q-Tip next to? Our Uber driver. She's like, hey, I'm so drunk at this point. I'm hugging her. I'm like, like, hey, bestie. She fully did one more Uber ride and then drove right back to the dungeon and met us there. She ends up buying all of us shots, like 4 rounds of shots. Okay, girl. And then in the middle of it, Plum and my girl Q-Tip love him so much. A big situation ends up happening. They end up getting into a huge fight. And then the Uber driver's just kind of staring. I'm just kind of staring. I'm also, like, kind of in the argument. It was a big, like, fiasco. The Uber driver ended up following all of us on Instagram. And she stayed out with us literally until they fucking closed. She did not drive us home. Which, you know what? You're off the duty, babe, because now you need an Uber. To this day, I still follow that Uber driver. The sweetest girl ever. It also was a wake-up call. I need to fucking relax and leave people alone. Because why? Why?
Get ready with me while I spill you some crazy secrets about being an influencer I've never seen anybody talk about. The first one, this is very juicy. Influencers know each other. We have group chats. There are influencer group chats, usually through, like, brand affiliates and companies that we're working with or management teams. They will put us all into a group chat together where we can discuss content ideas or just, like, talk. I first got put into one of these group chats when I was working with a clothing brand at the start of the year. And honestly, some things happen in those group chats. And there's people in here with less followers than me, more followers than me. But we all work the same job. We're all working for the same company, the same organizer, whoever it is. And so we communicate. And I'll tell you something. They are mean. I would never name names, so don't ask me to. But some of the influencers that I've been in group chats with, had interactions with, being offered, like, collabs with and working with, they're not very great people. And this was surprising to me because it's always the people that seem, like, very girl talk, very friendly online. And they're not. Particularly within, like, the get ready with me space. But in the same breath, a lot of them are absolutely lovely. The next thing, I might get in trouble for saying this, but everything is an ad. Even the things you don't think are an ad because they don't look like one, it's an ad. Most of the people I know, myself included, have, like, a management team or managers, and they, like, book jobs for you and they find you, like, sponsorships and, like, deals and things, and they're very helpful. Now, they are paying you to use the audio. Most of the audios and the trends influencers participate in they're getting paid for that. A lot of people ask me how much I make on here, and I'm not going to disclose that number, but I will tell you, I'm not in the creator fund, so I do just make these videos for, like, funsies. It was very complicated to sign up for, and apparently it doesn't even pay that well, and I just kind of gave up with it. I think it would shock people. Influencers typically get, like, anywhere from $100 to $200 a video. That is, like, the standard rate. At least with my management and, like, a lot of the people that I've spoken to's management, that seems to be, like, what artists will reach out to me to. I've had a lot of very big, like, artists, producing companies and things reach out and go, can you use this audio? Can you please, like, do this trend? Can you try and make a new trend? Like, and you can be cheeky and up your prices, and a lot of the time they go with it too. The next one is that, to be honest, everything is drafts. Everyone I know does this too. If you're seeing a video, it was filmed probably like 2 weeks ago. I do sometimes post new content, like this today. I'm filming this the day I'm posting it. A lot of my Get Ready With Me's are filmed on the same day, but most of it isn't. Any of us under management will have NDAs, and we have certain things we're not allowed to talk about. A lot of the time when you work with a brand, or we usually work with brands that haven't launched yet, or they haven't launched their new line, and they want us to post as soon as it launches, so they'll send us the PR earlier. And they will, we have to like sign NDAs and stuff, and there's a lot of work calls and conferences and things that I feel like people don't think you would need. I don't think we need either. It could have been email. Social media literally feels like an office job. It's like, oh, this could have been email, guys, but we all have to jump on a call together, and I don't like 25% of the people in here, and you don't like me, but we have to talk about ideas and brainstorm things, even though no one wants to be here. And finally, one thing I don't think I see anybody talk about is how surreal it is to actually become an influencer out of nowhere. The reason I've never shared how to like grow your platform is because I don't know, guys. I posted my first video on TikTok in 2023, and it got like 200k likes, and I took it down because I was like, what? I don't want everyone to look at me. Like, I felt kind of strange, and so I took it down, and then I posted again December last year, and yeah, it went viral. And then ever since then, my videos have just, and I've just slowly grown my following. I've never been popular at school or anything. I was never liked. Nobody ever thought that I was like pretty or anything. I literally was like very reclusive. I had like 2 friends, and I just didn't really leave my house. I was very insecure before I started social media too, and I'm very grateful because it's helped me a lot with like coming out my shell, learning to speak on camera. The craziest ones for me is that I have too many followers to go through my following, but I was going through one of my friends' followings to try and find an account, and I was scrolling, and I was like, half of these people follow me. This was kind of like weird. Like, it was like follow back, follow back, follow back. And I was looking, and half of the creators that I used to watch, I don't really watch TikTok anymore, to be honest, but I did when I was in like high school and stuff, and half of the creators that I used to really like follow me. And I was like, what? That was so surreal to me. And especially people that I'd stolen little bits of my look from, I had now had like more followers than, and they followed me. I won't out myself, but in high school there was this one girl I became like obsessed with. I was like, she's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. Like, I can't, like, I wish I looked like that. And I used to steal like a lot of my makeup inspo and like fit inspo from her, and she was just like me. She was like what I wanted to look like in my head. And I got a bit of a shock because it was 2 weeks ago. I was looking, and I was like, I have double this girl's following, and she follows me. What? I was like, this is actually like insane. I'm at the point in my career now where people have started asking me for photos in public. I was out with my friend the other week. 2 people came up to me, and it was so sweet, but it was so crazy. I was like, this is like insane. I feel like a celebrity. Guys, I'm not a celebrity. Like, I live like on an estate. I'm not like, I'm from like such a random place, and I've always been so like irrelevant that I'm like, what do you mean? Like, everybody knows my business and everyone knows me. It feels kind of strange when I get recognized in public, but I love it because I love meeting you guys and speaking to people. But no, I now go out into like the center and get at least 3 people asking me for photos, and I love it. But it's just crazy because I'm like, I'm not famous, guys. It's very, very strange. But yeah.
Am I the asshole for not caring that my housemate had an allergic reaction? Hi guys, I know the title is wild, but it's not what you think. I, 25 female, have been dating my boyfriend Larry, 30 male.
Larry.
We're vegan. Oh,
Big Larry.
We're vegan. For the last 2 years, he's great. About 9 months ago, we rented a house with 3 other roommates. David, 29 male, vegan. Michael, 29 male, and Tina, 24 female. Michael and Tina are together and are not vegan, but will eat vegan meals. Michael is severely allergic to peanuts. We all have our own spaces and share the kitchen, living room, and laundry room. Some Sundays, my boyfriend makes big family meals, big pans of pasta, so everyone can eat and we'll have leftovers for work. This is and was only a stepping stone for us, boyfriend and I, and them, so we knew after this, after the year was up, we wouldn't be renewing. So we all figured we could band together for the year, we could all put ourselves in better positions. And the first 6 months were great and flew by. But then David lost his job, Tina and Michael had a few problems, and Tina moved out. It was all unexpected, but that's a them issue. As long as you stick to the agreed terms and have an agreeable conversation, we don't have an issue. But the next month or so, Larry and I started noticing a lot of the same patterns. We were buying all the groceries. We were the only ones cooking, but everyone was eating and nobody was putting it on food or household necessities. Now, Tina left, but Michael still has a job. He doesn't cook, barely shops, but will DoorDash every day. Tina did all of his shopping and cooking, so when she left, all of that stopped. But it was a little while before we noticed because we were all in our own little world and what we have going on. David does a little of both. He cooks and DoorDashes, but hasn't grocery shopped for himself since he lost his job. Now, I come from a family that will help anyone. My grandma has fed and clothed so many people that it's just instilled in me. So at first, understanding that David was not working and that the guys had been best friends since the sandbox, Larry and I had no problem letting David use some of our groceries to eat. But it was starting to get frustrating when we were feeling like we were being taken advantage of, especially when our food/leftovers would come up missing. We'd have unopened boxes of rice, only have one bag in it. We are spending a fortune in household supplies and we're the only ones doing it. Oh, also Tina moved back in 2 months ago. So Michael and Tina have food again, but now you couldn't borrow anything, or Michael would say that's Tina's when she wasn't home. So you can scarf down our pan of pasta, but we can't have a few fries until we hit the store. And you know we're going to hit the store. So on to the actual story. I went home for a family barbecue, and my family's not vegan, so I brought my own food, burgers and sausages. My uncle is our family's world-class chef who turns nothing into something, and no matter what it is, it's always the best thing you've ever tasted. So he was trying a new creation at the barbecue of our homemade frying grease that had peanut oil in it. He made my burgers in it, and I brought 10 home in a to-go box, and I put them in the refrigerator on our shelf. About 6 hours later, my boyfriend and I are up in the room gaming, and we hear David yelling for Tina. So we run downstairs, and Tina's sticking Michael with an EpiPen. And I immediately assess the scene, and I realize what happened. Once he got stable enough, Tina and David took Michael to the hospital. When they left, I told my boyfriend exactly what I knew happened. I guess Michael had the same revelation, and once released from the hospital, came back upset. He was so meticulous with his allergy. So Larry and I are alone in the kitchen, and when they arrive and he asked us about it, Larry is also a vocal person and I'm shy, non-confrontational type, but something in me that day snapped. Before Larry could answer, I said straight to his face, "You ate those burgers with peanut oil in it." He immediately starts screaming at me, and Larry stood in front of me and said, "Oh no, not this one. Direct that energy somewhere else." And I said, "It's your own fault. It wasn't yours and you didn't even ask. You got exactly what you wanted." Larry, being 6'4" and 320 pounds to Michael's 5'10" and 180 pounds, he calmed down and went into his room. Tina called me an asshole for saying that and followed him. Larry made sure I was good and David tried to lighten the mood. And I went on him too for eating 5 of my burgers and probably encouraging Michael to get some, knowing that wasn't theirs. So am I the asshole?
I refused to help my fiance with her daughter, and now she's spewing lies. I am a 27-year-old man, and my fiance is 30. We've been together for nearly 4 years. I have a 6-year-old son, and she has an 11-year-old daughter from previous relationships. Up until now, we've never had any issues regarding the children. Yesterday, her daughter was set to go on a camping trip for a friend's birthday where they'd be doing activities like kayaking. My fiancé dressed her in a dress, and I mentioned to her that it didn't seem like the right choice for the occasion. She seemed offended and said her daughter could wear whatever she liked and that it wasn't a man's place to judge. I tried to clarify what I meant, but she cut me off, saying, "She's my daughter, not yours." I took my son to a pre-planned match when my fiancé rang me. It turned out the birthday girl's mom had told her daughter she couldn't go in a dress and needed to wear a tracksuit or something similar, so they didn't let her on the bus. My fiancé then asked if I could leave the match early to drive her daughter to the activity center. I replied, "Why should I? She's not my daughter, and I'm here with my son. Neither of us are talking now. I do pity for my stepdaughter, and I wasn't being spiteful. A little little bit. My son was looking forward to it, and it would be about 4 hours of travel. Am I the a-hole? From what I get, I was a bit of an a-hole, and she was a bigger a-hole, so I'm going to try to talk it out and see what we both want. Relevant comments. Reasonable Ruin 3760 says, who sends a girl kayaking in a dress? Yeah, someone who's never been kayaking is who wears a dress to go kayaking. Prize Crow 1396 says, I've never been kayaking either, but common sense still tells me that a child in a dress is wildly inappropriate for that activity. Yeah. Frankie File says, you'd be amazed how scarce a resource common sense is. Mango Saint Juice says, not the a-hole, you tried to help her and she told you to butt out, make sure you get your apology. OP says, yeah, I'd say I'll be waiting for an apology. Belazelle says, dollars to donuts, you'll be waiting for a while. I'm going to say this just in case. While waiting, to be sure to spend time with your stepdaughter, don't let her get caught in the middle between you and her mom butting heads, regardless of who's the a-hole. I mean, it's not you, but that's irrelevant. She doesn't need this crap. Yeah, I'm taking her and my son to the camp next weekend instead. We won't do the camping part, but we'll do the activities. That's, of course, if I'm allowed to take her. My fiance is obviously invited too, but only if she wears a dress. I'm joking. Blooming 607 says, it's clear your fiance misinterpreted your intentions. You weren't attacking her or her daughter. You just saw a practical issue with the outfit. If she had dressed her daughter appropriately in the first place, you wouldn't have needed to comment at all. But instead of recognizing that, she got defensive and made it about you, which just made things worse. If she'd taken a second to hear you out, instead of taking offense, maybe the whole situation could have been avoided. Not the a-hole. She can't be a snarky person and still expect you to help. She made her choice and choices have consequences. The relationship isn't lasting much longer, LOL. And good, she sounds like a red flag. OP says, yeah, I didn't want to sound like a drama queen, but I'm very surprised what she said and questioning some stuff. I see my stepdaughter as my daughter and would have expected the same with her and my son. I'm not saying I don't have a favorite child, but I love them both. Judgment, fiance is the bigger a-hole. I had a conversation with my fiance and she asked why I would say something so hurtful. I replied I was just repeating what she had said to me earlier. She then asked if I love her daughter and I said I did. She asked if it was as much as I loved my son and I responded almost as much. She got cranky. I asked her if she loved my son. She said no. I asked her if she loved me and her answer was sorta. She started crying, woke up her daughter, and told her they had to leave even though I hadn't told them to go. I said we could talk about it tomorrow, but she insisted, saying he doesn't want us anymore. I told her that I never said that. Her daughter began crying and didn't want to leave, but her mother said, don't let me leave on my own. He doesn't want you. I reassured them both that they were welcome to stay. My fiance decided to leave without her daughter, and now she's not answering. When I spoke to my daughter's father, he just laughed and said she couldn't even hold off on the crazy until after the wedding. Fancy Average 5440, that poor 11-year-old girl, this won't be the last time she has her life uprooted by her unstable mother. Brief Candidate 3019, sounds like you have a good relationship with her ex. Listen to him. Yeah, yes. OP, yeah, despite his lack of presence in his daughter's life, he's not a bad guy, although perhaps my judge of character isn't the best. She flat out told you she doesn't love your son, and she sort of loves you. Wow! You avoided even more drama than was starting to brew. You and your boy deserve so much better than a no and a sort of. OP says, my son is very upset by her going, her daughter less so. Apparently, I don't toast Pop-Tarts as well as she did, according to my son. Brewdog Drinker, bullet dodged. OP says, bullet dodged until she remembers her daughter's still living with me. One last visit of crazy, and when she decides to collect her. A Better Fox says, you aren't the daughter's legal guardian. You should contact authorities. If she's this manipulative, she's likely willing to build up a story of how you kept her daughter. I'd contact CPS or an attorney ASAP. OP says CPS has been contacted. He tried getting through to her and did not succeed. Her father gave permission for her to stay with me as per CPS. Honestly, not even thinking beyond tomorrow at this stage. She's with me for the foreseeable future. I haven't really thought that far ahead. I'd imagine her mother will have every right when she returns, sadly, to take her back. OP on the dad. Yeah, despite his lack of presence in his daughter's life, he's not a bad guy, although perhaps my judge of character isn't the best, which I would imagine the mother didn't help, but no, he runs from responsibility. One of the first times I met him, he was shocked I was a single dad. His wise words were adoption exists. Relation Mammoth 01 says, you said she's much nicer in your OG post, but it doesn't sound like it. Sounds like you've been putting up with crap and somehow making it work and maybe even being in denial. I just feel bad for the daughter. OP says, maybe I was. I have a feeling she has a guy lined up, and that's just how it switched so quickly, but who knows? They're having a PJ day today. She's definitely sad, but I'm sure there's more crap to follow. Anyway, update number 2. I told my fiance my stepdaughter isn't mine, and I'm not sure if you've forgotten all about me, but I'll start with some good news. We finally figured out how to toast Pop-Tarts properly for my son. We had about 2 weeks of calm. During that time, I spoke to my stepdaughter a few times about everything. I reassured her that no matter what happens, she'll always be my girl. She told me she hoped her mom wouldn't come back. She says her mom was controlling. Then, a few days ago, my ex-fiancé walked into my house carrying 2 grocery bags, acting as if nothing happened. She asked me what I wanted for dinner. I told the kids to go to their rooms, and I confronted her. I told her that we're over. She asked why, and when I didn't respond, she said couples fight, as if her actions were normal. This behavior was unsettling. I told her she needed to leave or I'd call the police. She asked why I was doing this to her. I was at a loss for words, so I picked up my phone. At that point, she backed down, saying, okay, let me get my daughter. I told her if she wanted her daughter, she needed to call CPS and explain why she had disappeared for 2 weeks. She insisted she had only been gone for 1 night. She refused to leave without her daughter and started shouting her name. Her daughter came out of her room and reluctantly said she would go with her. I told her, you have a place here for as long as you want. Her mother then said, he'll kick you out just like he's kicking me out. I stood my ground, saying she could have her daughter back after speaking to CPS. When I started dialing the police, she ran out. Later, I talked to my stepdaughter. She said she was willing to leave because she didn't want to cause trouble for me. I reminded her that she's the child and I'm the adult, and it's my responsibility to look after her, not the other way around. I asked her where she wanted to stay for now, and she said she'd rather stay here. My ex-fiance ended up calling CPS. They reached out to me, and they were supposed to have a meeting yesterday with my fiance, but she didn't show up to it, apparently. Maintenance Short 4821 says, quite right. She wants her daughter so badly with her that she missed a CPS meeting. Hope your stepdaughter can stay with you. Darkstar 0915 says, doesn't this reflect badly on her for further dealings, like deeming her an unfit parent and taking custody of her daughter? OP is her fiance. If custody is given, it would be to next of kin, the stepdaughter's father, unless he feels like his daughter is much safer with you and happier than with him, then OP can fight for the custody. I'm not sure the legalities of custody matters. That is the end of that story.
Story time on the time my dad almost called the police on me at the age of 8. 8 years old. The era of picking mulch and picking fights, apparently, with my parents. Legal fights. But once again, we're throwing the story back. Pipsqueak era. Like pipsqueak. I want to say 2nd grade going into 3rd grade almost. I don't know. Back in elementary school, all times were blurred together. Just know I was about 4 foot tall. And evil. Literally evil. I want to say I was a sweet kid, but like also like sinister mixed with Paranormal Activity 4, right? Like the 4th series, because series 1, series 2, series 3, that was when I was a baby. Like series 4, I'm 8 years old now. Who's ready? So I want to say I was 2nd grade going into 3rd grade. Just know I was 4 foot and ready to rumble, right? Not mature at all. I'm still not, but like I was 4 foot this time and not mature. So I guess it was more valid. And I want to say the elementary school that I went to was a pretty good elementary school. Like, the area was cute. The kids there, most of the time, were cute. I want to say 90% cute, 10% evil. I was part of the population that was half cute, half evil, okay? Now, I don't want to say that I was the worst kid ever, but if you were to sit down my parents in a desolate room and give them some tea and coffee and say, talk about your experience with little Dylan as a kid, they'd probably start crying. I wasn't the best. Every time I'm at a family function, oh my gosh, remember when Dylan had a meltdown about this? Remember when Dylan started climbing the walls about this? Remember when Dylan got into a fist fight with a cardboard box because you wouldn't give... Like, it's always a fucking story, okay? But I want to say I took my elementary school pipsqueak studies a little more seriously than my middle school and high school studies. Like, I would save all the foolishness and the drama for my parents. Like, when I was in elementary school, oh baby, I'm a star student. That's not me anymore. Now, once again, we're in elementary school, so we don't really have report cards at this point, or we don't even have grades. We don't have concept of what numbers even are, okay? This is 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade. Like, it's a whole lot of goo goo gaga and throwing shit at each other, and then, you know, exchanging like silly bands on the black market. Something my elementary school had, as a lot of other elementary schools, we had a color system because, baby, we were going to learn discipline one way or another. This isn't a free-for-all, okay? I want to say the color system started in first grade, like kindergarten, like we were still goo goo gong, and like first grade, like that's when they're like, okay, like this is what the system is, like we're gonna set this system up, you guys will effing behave or we will embarrass the shit out of you. So if you don't know what I'm talking about with the color systems, essentially what it was is first grade, that's when they started, at least at my elementary school, and they sat us down there like, okay, you guys are legitimate toddlers in society, like we can't give you A, B, C, D, E, F, G, like grades, because what are we going to grade you on doing your ABCs? Like, you don't know what's going on. So they set up, I remember it like it was yesterday, it was the right side of our classroom, and they had, and next to everybody's name, they had kind of like stoplights. So it was like green, yellow, red, and there were clips, okay? Basically, we were graded on our behavior, because keep in mind, we're legitimately toddlers right now. Like, we're not really learning anything at this point. So it's like, okay, like if you don't scream, cry, and destroy your papers and start eating highlighters today, you'll stay on green. If you start getting mouthy, it goes to yellow. If you've like flipped a chair, it goes to red, okay? Now, kindergarten, once again, I was wilding the hell out. I was knocking shit down, screaming, not actually, but like, I had a little mouth on me, you know, I'd flail my arms a little bit. Because once again, it was kindergarten, like preschool, like there were really no laws in my opinion. But when we got the first grade and they sat us down the first day of class, the syllabus day, and they said, listen here, toddlers, we're going to be graded on this. That's where my mind kind of shifted, and I was like, oh, I got to be the best. I will always be green. I'm looking around my peers. I'm looking to the girl to the left of me. She's got on, you know, her Justice leggings. She's got the best pencils and the pens, and she's kind of looking around like, I'll always stay on green. And I was like, okay, girl, this is a competition. I'm going to stay on green the entire time I'm in elementary school. Nobody will ruin my shine. Now, I want to say first grade for me, I don't really remember much of it, except for that my teacher one day in the middle of class, she broke down in tears and left, and she didn't come back for another 4 months. Came to find out that her father died. Rest in peace. I wasn't that close with that teacher, but that I remember that stuck with me in first grade. That's the only thing I remember in first grade, though. She found out in the middle. It was 7 a.m. It was early for everybody. I hope she's doing now to this day. I hope she's doing good. Besides the point, first grade, I'm pretty sure I stayed on green for the most part, for what I can remember. Like, maybe there was a couple of days where I'd come in with a nasty attitude because I didn't get the Pokemon card that I wanted, so maybe I went into yellow, but I never went down to that treacherous red. I remember it's a thing, like, this is where I kind of, like, came in the tune of my nosiness, because I would look around and, like, I would always look at people's colors. Like, that's what I was concerned. I'm not kidding. Like, we could be about to be hit with a meteorite, and, like, I'm over here looking like, okay, am I going to be green for, like, the big meteorite? Like, before we catch on fire, like, was I green today? Like, that's, like, I was just so curious, and I had to know if, like, everybody in the class was like on green, right? And once again, my school was a pretty much good school, right? At least when I went there, everybody was kind of like in tune with shit. Of course, in every school, there's always going to be like the troublemaker, the people screaming, like knocking stuff down. Of course, in my school, there was that one troublemaker, all through elementary school. What do I call him? Paranormal. That's his name. Because honestly, his behavior from what I remember was beyond paranormal, right? Like, I had my normal like pipsqueak outbursts as other pipsqueaks did. Maybe I had them a little more than usual, but like, it was every day from him. Like, he was beyond crashing out in class. Like, baby, we're in second grade. What is there to crash out about? And once again, thinking about it now, I'm like, okay, there must have been stuff going on at home, but like, damn, like, what are we that stressed out about? Like, honestly, like, there's no bills. Like, our only job is literally to come into class and chew on erasers and watch, like, the Magic School Bus. Like, what are we? I don't know. And another fun fact about me, which I have not left this trait alone yet, I would talk to anybody and everybody in elementary school. I still do this to this day, but elementary school, that's where it stemmed. Because I was like, oh my gosh, wait, I'm with all these, like, new people. Like, I'm not just hanging out with my childhood friend and that's it. This is fun. So I had my little close friends in elementary school, but also, like, I would talk to the outsiders. Like, I would talk to anybody I wasn't even close with. Like, I just wanted to get to know anybody. Like, hey, guys, what's going on? Now, me and Paranormal, we were never close, but, like, I would see Paranormal in class, and I'd always, like, do you want some of my pencils? Like, you want to exchange, like, an eraser for something? And granted, I would go to give him an eraser, and he would knock it out my hand and start screaming. I'd be like, all right, sorry, Paranormal. Like, I'll try you tomorrow. I'm not sure. Maybe you like highlighters and stuff. But once again, that was first grade, the introduction into what was going on, the whole color system. Okay, this is what's happening now. So now we're fast forwarding to second grade. This is year 2, and I'm like, okay, first grade, successfully did it. Like, I was on green most of the day. I didn't really get in trouble. Like, okay, no parent calls. I love it. Second grade, I remember it starts up, and I'm like, oh, we're still doing this color system? I thought this was just a first grade, like, you know, first year out here. First day of class, I said, all right, y'all know how it is. Color system over there. Never go to red. Let's start class. I remember that kind of irritated me because I was like, am I always going to be controlled in society like this? Like, my behavior is going to be graded? Like, Why? Like, I was holding in so many episodes. Like, just let me loose. Let me fucking loose. I want to say this is about 4 months into my second grade career, right? Second grade and watching the Magic School Bus and studying possums on the ground, right? Dissecting, I don't know, slugs. I remember I get to school one day and I was not in the mood this day at all. Like, normally I wasn't in the mood to go to school, but like I would go to school and I would be like in there for 10 minutes and somebody would start talking to me and I start chirping back and like, my mood's good now, right? But I remember this day, I don't know if it was because like I did not like dinner the night before, like the pasta roast was not hitting, or like my math equations my parents were helping with were like making me mad. Like 2 + 2, it obviously equals 7. Like, I don't know what the issue was, but I was livid. Like, I remember I dropped off and I didn't even say like, bye, I love you, to my parents. Like, I snatched my little snack pack with my Lunchables falling out and I just like lugged myself into school. I was so effing mad. No clue why. Second grade me hating everybody. Love it. Anyways, I remember I get in the class and I slam my lunchbox down and my teacher's like, whoa, like, what's going on? I kind of like look up at her and I'm like, I'm sorry, Miss Sally. Let's just call her Sally Mae. I'm like, I'm sorry, Miss Sally Mae. Like, with a big bowl cut. Like, I'm so irritated. And she's like, okay, we're going to turn that frown obviously upside down. Like, this isn't like you. Like, normally you're all excited and stuff. And I'm like, I know. Like, I just, like the pot roast from last night made me irritated. Remember, we start class, the day starts going on, and I forget the exact incident that happened. I want to say it was about 2 hours into class. 2 hours into school, because like multiple classes within second grade, whatever. But I remember I'm sitting there, and at this time period, I sat next to Paranormal, which once again, Paranormal was very used to being put on red because Paranormal did not care. He never did. Once again, he wasn't like Satan spawned on Earth, but like close enough to it for like an elementary school kid. Like, he wasn't violent by any means, but like he just, I don't know, he was loud, he'd push stuff over. Like, if you made him mad, do not make Paranormal mad, okay? And I remember we're doing something in class where we have to be writing, right? And this is the era of second grade where I don't even have a lead pencil. Like, I just have like a little wood chip pencil, right? My hands would be all dirty after because I'm writing with a regular pen. And I remember I'm writing so fast, like my pencil like fully like snaps. Like, not snaps in half, but like the pencil point snaps. Okay, you get it. I need a pencil quick, right? We're supposed to be writing what's on the board. So I look over to the right because I'm like, okay, I'll just ask, Alexandria if she's got a pencil. I'll look at Alexandria. Alexandria's not there. They go to the right of me. She's in the bathroom. Okay, Alexandria. She had a stomach ache that day. Okay, so I look to the left and it's Paranormal. And I'm like, I'm already like in an irritated mood, and I'm like, I know Paranormal's probably gonna do something like diabolical, like when I ask him for a pencil, right? Like, he's gonna take advantage of it, but I'm scared. I need a pencil. Okay. I look over, Paranormal's like not even writing anything down. Like, Paranormal's just like, being a nuisance. I look at Paranormal. I'm like, hi, Paranormal. What's going on? He looks up to me and he looks not in the mood either. And I'm like, oh, like, could we collab right now? Or is this going to be an issue between me and you? Let's work together. I looked at him. I was like, can I like borrow a pencil? Like, I'm sorry. I forget exactly what he said to me. He said something. He was like, what happened to your stinky, ugly pencil? Like, some diabolical thing to say to like a second grader. It was like second grade on second grade crime. I don't know why that enraged me so much. And I looked at his pencil pouch that was like rusty and stuff. He had cobwebs in there. But I did see a lead pencil in there, which I've never had a lead pencil before. I only use like the traditional kind. And I don't know what possessed me, but I literally reached into his pencil pouch, took the pencil, and I was like, you're not using it anyway. And I start writing. That was the loudest I've ever heard Paranormal scream in his life as he lunges over to my desk to grab it back. The whole class stopped. And my teacher, I've never seen her that mad before in my life. Ever. At me, at least. All right, part two. I'm sorry. I swear there's a bigger plot. Part 2, on the time my dad almost called the police on me at the age of 8. A heartwarming story. As I just described, this is the lead war on pipsqueaks, right? Like, I just lunged for his pencil unconsensually. Like, that, I started the war, and I've never done that before. Like, once again, I was a troublemaker, but something really possessed me to reach my hand in there, and I said, grab it. He's not going to do it. And as he does, because Paranormal is not the one to be played with, he is very familiar with red, which nobody else in my class is familiar with their color being put on red. He lunges across my desk that one. I'm not going to lie, I've seen Paranormal do it a lot. I was not expecting that reaction, right? Like, normally he's just being too loud, he's squealing, or he's talking too much. I've never seen a pounce attack over a pencil that he's not using. Once again, my fault. I started the war, but damn, you finished it. He lunges onto my desk. I'm like, oh. Like, I'm yelling at this point, right? Like, I'm the drama starter. My teacher stops the class and says, both of you. I put my paws in the air. I'm like, I'm not doing anything. He's up on my desk. He's crinkling up my loose leaf that I can't even write on because I tried to take his pencil, didn't. I immediately just tried to start explaining myself. I'm like, he wasn't using his pencil. I really need to use the pencil. You know, paranormal never uses a pencil because he doesn't do what he's supposed to. Like, I'm literally having a mental breakdown at this point, right? Like, I'm just squealing trying to explain myself. I feel like I'm in a court of law and I just got caught, like, shoplifting from Target, right? Like, it's literally insane. My teacher says, I don't want to hear it from either of you. Like, that was actually ridiculous. I've never, like, it was one of those things, like, you know when teachers, when they get really angry and they're like, I've never had to talk to a class like this in my life. I've never talked to a kid like this in my life. But keep in mind, they did it a week before. But, like, they got to single you out and be like, you've brought me to this point. Like, you literally should cry and, like, never laugh again. Like, you are a devil, pipsqueak. That's how she's talking to us. And I'm sitting there like, ooh, she's never said that to me before. Like, I've been put on yellow. Now. Like, she's going in and my head, like, literally just goes to, and I was like, oh, my God, she's going to move my color. She's going to move my color. And I remember the week before, I was already put on yellow because I didn't do my homework assignment. That's on me. Once again, taking accountability, right? That's me. But I remember my mind, like, while she's screaming at me, at first I'm scared. And then the second thing, I'm like, is she going to move my color? Like, okay, I was already on yellow the week before. Shit. So I'm just fearful at this point. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be put on yellow again. Like, this is not good. Like, this is not a good look, right? Because I'm pretty sure it was a thing in my elementary school. Like, if you were put on, like, yellow too many times, they reach out to your parent. Obviously, if you got put on red, they would reach out to your parent directly, okay? Oh, baby, I was hoping for the wrong thing. So she goes on her 10-minute rant, and keep in mind, everybody in the class, like, everyone's pencils are down, and they're all staring. Like, pencils aren't even a situation anymore. I don't even know why I fought for a pencil, because we're not writing anymore. We're listening. We're listening to me getting, you know, chewed out. Everyone's staring, going like, ooh. Like, she's going in, she's going in, she's going in, she's going in. And at the end of her rant, she says, I need both of you to go up there and go change your color immediately to red. Now, I've never seen that happen in my life where you go from green to red. Like, it must have been something, like, really fucking bad. Like, it's usually, like, obviously green, then yellow, then, like, okay, you push me, like, red. Like, trust you beat up. We were both on red. The second the R word left her mouth, I was like, why are we saying a slur? No. My eyes start welling up. And I'm like, I'm just silent. Like, I'm literally silent. And, like, you know, Paranormal gets up and he, like, grunts at me and, like, makes a little face, like, and, like, walks up and, like, turns to sit on red. And I'm like, and I'm not moving. And like, Miss Sally Mae's looking at me and she's like, and you too, Dylan. Red now. I'm sitting there like, oh, no. This can't be true. I get up, I literally, like, black out my pipsqueak mind. Like, oh my gosh, like, it was like I was going to jail. Like, I literally got up and, like, I, like, was disassociating. I was walking over and I, like, turned it to red. Like, I don't remember any of it. Obviously, I was a kid, but, like, whatever. Like, I, like, blacked out. I sat back down and I'm like, okay, like, at the end of the day, like, I'm just gonna plead with her. I'm gonna do a little plea, like, a plea deal, a little bargain. I'm gonna get it back up to yellow at least. So that's what I was telling myself to calm down throughout the day, because I was, like, starting to tear up and I was like, like, don't embarrass yourself. Like, Alexandria's in the class. Like, everybody's in the class here. Like, I don't want to embarrass myself even more than this was. So I'm like, I'm just gonna thug out the rest of the day. We got, 4 more hours of school. Like, it'll be fine. Like, I'm just gonna act really, really good and she's gonna bump me up to yellow. The rest of the day, it literally was the slowest day of my second grade career. Like, I was just, like, I had so much anxiety. I was like, okay, like, I'm not gonna be caught slipping again. I remember I borrowed a pencil from my teacher after that, because the whole issue was the pencil. And I'm, like, writing everything. I'm not making a peep. Like, I remember, like, my friend Alexandria was looking at me and she's like, hey, like, blah, 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 like, trying to, like, talk. And I'm like, like, not right now, Alexandria. I'm trying to get to yellow. Ignoring everybody. I'm in, like, my, like, Drake era, right? Like, hotline bling. I'm just, like, writing my shit down. I'm like, like, focusing on myself this year, locked in. And then finally the bell hits. And it's the end of the day. It's the end of the day. Okay, time to redeem myself because I did so good today. I remember I walked back up to my teacher and I was like, hi, Miss Sally Mae. Like, I'm really sorry for that. Like, I just started explaining myself. Miss Sally Mae was in no fucking mood. I thought that she'd be, like, better because, once again, I thought I redeemed myself. I was quiet the rest of the day. She stopped me. She was like, I'm gonna stop you right there. If you're trying to move your color back up to green, it's not gonna work. And I was like, no, Miss Sally Mae, I would never expect to be on green, but, like, possibly, like, a yellow. Like, I don't want to ask for anything. And she was like, no. Like, once you're on red, you stay there. Then she proceeds to tell me that she already sent a lengthy email to my parents. All right, Sally Mae, it's on. I remember she said that, my pipsqueak eyes turned black. And I said, all right, it's warm, Miss Sally Mae. But I looked at her and I said, okay. And I waddled outside. Once again, this was elementary school. My elementary school was legitimately like a 30-second drive from my house. So I was not driving the bus or anything like that. My parents were outside to pick me up. By parents, I meant my dad that just got off of work. And I'm like, so he definitely just read the email. I have so much anxiety at this point. I'm like, oh my fucking God. Like, I'm going to get my iPad taken away and I'm not going to be able to eat SpaghettiOs for a week. Like, it's going to be nothing but pot roast, like no Lunchables. Like, oh my gosh, they're going to give me a broccoli straw. I'm so scared. I remember, like, I'm like opening the double doors and I see my dad's car sitting out there because I was a little bit late once again because I was trying to, you know, swindle Sally Mae into moving my shit up. I walk outside. I literally have like pee stains. Like, I swear my little sweatpants are like turning like a different shade. Like, I'm pissing myself. I remember I get my dad's car and I remember walking up to it and he's like smiling and I'm like, okay, this is some weird tactic right now. Like, this is before he attacks me, right? But I remember I opened the door and I'm like, hi. And he's like, hey, bud, like, how was today? And I'm like, this is weird. Like, this is a plot. Like, I don't trust this. But I'm, like, also, like, very upset. So I'm like, And I, like, sit in the car. He's like, what's going on, buddy? Like, you know, so much, like, buddy usage. Because I'm literally, like, 3 foot tall, right? Like, I'm nothing more than, like, a bad buddy. I'm like, just drive, Dad. Like, just drive. And he's like, no, like, just talk to me. Like, what happened today? Like, come on, like, he's probably thinking I got fucking bullied or something. Like, I'm over here, like, all distressed. Like, my face is, like, puffy. Like, I've been, like, crying. And he's, like, pressing the issue. He's pressing it. And then finally, I remember I look at him and I was like, Dad, you know what? That I got loud. And I never, like, get loud, but I think this is just, like, my breaking point. And I was like, I got put on red today. I got put on red. And I think then and there, my dad was like, first, I got loud with him. And number 2, I got put on red. And once again, my parents were very good parents. And I want to say they were more lenient parents than most. But, like, put on red really big. I remember I, like, had my little episode. And he looked at me. He was like, first of all, you don't ever scream at me. Number 2, okay, like, your iPad's being taken away. Like, you are not supposed to be on red ever. He didn't even know about my yellow incidents. Like, once again, in his mind, I was always green. So he was like, yup, like, consider your iPad gone because you want to get loud, so your iPad's gone. I don't know what clicked in my brain, but I thought, like, how do I describe that? In my pipsqueak mind, like, I thought I was, like, the biggest celebrity having, like, a crash out on TMZ almost. Like, I was like, you know what? Like, I'm late to my world tour type shit. Like, fuck it. Nothing matters anymore. Like, the world's ending. Like, whatever. You would have thought it was the end of the Mayan calendar. Like, I was like, you know what? Nothing's on the plate anymore. My iPad's gone. Watch this. Once again, I was a little devil kid, but, like, only really to my parents, but not 24/7. And I wouldn't do, like, crazy ass shit. Just, like, crash outs, right? So I remember it vividly. On the way to my house, there was, like, a mini bridge. Like, not, like, a huge bridge, not, like, the San Francisco shit. None of that. It was, like, the smallest little bridge. Like, it was probably, like, a 10-foot bridge. Remember, we're crossing over the bridge, and while my dad's, like, yelling at me, saying, like, your iPad's gone, like, you can, like, go straight to your room after eating pot roast. I don't know. I didn't even think. I hit the unlock button on the car, and I swing the door open. Keep in mind, my dad's full in motion in the car. Keep in mind, we're not going fast, but, like, 40 miles per hour, and I swing the door open. My dad said, what the hell are you, like, what are you doing? Close the door. And I'm like, like, if I don't get my iPad, you're not getting me. I'm getting out. My dad's like, no, like, stop right now. Like, close the door. It's going to be really bad for you. Close the effing door. And I'm like, like, the world's already ending. It's done. I got put on red. It's a wrap. Like, I don't know what I thought I was. I thought I was making a social statement. Like, I remember I keep the door open for, like, 4 fucking minutes. And traffic is occurring behind us. My dad's like, you need to close the fucking door right now. Like, it's about to be so bad for you. He just kept saying that. And I was like, okay, like, it is going to be really bad for me if I close this door. So now I'm too, like, locked in deep to close the door. But I was trying to reach over to me to close the door. And I'm like, I'll get out the car. Like, the traffic crew behind us definitely thought there was, like, a dispute going on. Like, a pipsqueak verse, like, I don't even know. Borderline animal abuse. Because I was acting like a fucking animal. Like a guinea pig, okay? And it hit 6 minutes. We're still sitting there. Cars are honking. Cars are going around us at this point. And my dad, like, you can tell he is fucking mortified. Like, I've never done something like this in my life. He looks at me. He says, all right, I'm calling the police. Like, I'm calling the police right now. They're taking you. Like, they're taking you tonight. And I don't know why, but when it got to the legalities, I was like, all right, I closed the door. Like, I was just like, it's a wrap. Like, I don't want to go to jail. I'll go to parent jail for, like, a month. I've never seen my dad's face that fucking red in his life. I've never in my life. It was silent the rest of the 20 seconds until we got home. My iPad was gone for a fucking while. I remember when we got home, too, he also was like, I'm gonna call the police. Like, I'm gonna call the police on you. Granted, I was not taken to Pipsqueak jail. But he was allegedly close to. He probably wasn't in my hindsight, but you get what I'm saying? And my iPad was gone. Oh, it was gone for a while. No Lunchables either. They definitely put broccoli crowns in my fucking lunch.
I'm an alcoholic. I'm in recovery. I'm also an addict. I'm in recovery. I've been sober for 5 years. Let's get ready for the gym while I tell you guys another story that is one of the reasons I decided to get sober. This story is about the time that I slept for 26 hours. Yes, you heard that right, 26 hours. So this story has a bit more to do with my dry goods issue rather than my drinking and alcohol. I'll walk you guys through a little bit of what my life looked like at the time that this 26-hour slumber happened. The timeline of this, I am in college. I am not sure what year it is. It's definitely sophomore or junior year. I feel like it was junior year. A little bit of like quick context. When I say dry goods, I'm basically saying, I'm trying to talk about this as vaguely as possible, sort of medication that was provided to me by a provider that I convinced to provide me for a condition that I didn't really have. It was all too easy. Let's just say I had a monthly subscription. It was a sort of medication that helped me stay up for multiple days on end. So with that information, I think you can kind of get the picture. When I first started taking these dry goods, it was only when I had a big test or finals week. Finals week was always like the escapade. Like I was like, finals week, I can't wait. I'm just gonna like do this all week long, stay up for 5 days. But as I continued into my using career, I was in this cycle where I would literally stay up from Sunday to Friday, drink on Friday evenings to pass out, catch up on sleep Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then start again Sunday night. So I was in this horrible cycle where I was awake for 5 days and then asleep, awake, asleep. It was awful. So I remember that this was going into like one winter break and it was finals week. So prepared for this finals week. I couldn't wait. I had like everything lined up. I had everything planned and I was like, okay, I have all my dry goods. And my whole justification every time was like, well, I'm not doing this recreationally. I'm doing it for school. Like I'm doing schoolwork. So that was my way of justifying. And I just remember every time that I would take this like dry good, I would feel so guilty in my core every time because I knew I didn't need to be taking it. Deep down, knowing that it made me so uncomfortable and I felt so like sick about it, but I couldn't stop. It had a chokehold on me. It's finals week. I am fully in the like cycle of staying up for 5 days at a time pretty much. Finished finals. Who knows how I did on them, because at the end of like these 5-day like timelines, I was hallucinating, hearing voices, so paranoid. I couldn't drive. It was crazy. Finished finals, and I remember I get on the plane to go home for winter break, so tired. Like I'm dead tired. But there's so much of this like substance still in my system, so even though I'm like physically exhausted, I cannot fall asleep. I'm sitting on the plane. I remember I think I like even took Benadryl to try to fall asleep. It like maybe helped for a little bit. Here's the thing, every time I would finish one of these like escapades, like 5 days and then sleep for 2 and pass out and get drunk, I was always like, I'm not doing that again next week. Like I can't, like I have to stop. Like this is not healthy, this is not right. Didn't matter. Every time Monday rolled around, right back into the same cycle. Could not stop. Really truly powerless over this stuff. I go home for winter break and my mom like picks me up from the airport. She's like, oh, like your grandma wants to meet us for breakfast. And I'm like, I can't say to my mom, well, I've been up for 5 days. Remember, the way that I'm paying for this habit is that I'm on my parents' health insurance. And so I have to make them think that I'm taking these responsibly. If I'm not, then they're going to stop paying for it. I'm like, oh, grandma wants to get breakfast. You guys, I've been awake for 5 days, okay? 5 days. Grandma wants to go get pancakes. Literally, I'm not okay. Go get pancakes. I'll never forget this breakfast. I'm literally like just like fighting for my life. And not only am I just exhausted, I feel ill, as you do when you're awake for 5 days, hallucinating, like I'm crazy, like whatever. I make it through this breakfast. God knows. I don't even, my parents probably thought that I was like being crazy. Finally get home from the airport and I crash. Obviously, I fall asleep. When I tell you I slept for about 26 hours, I mean it. My mom was like, she's not getting up. Is she okay? I did get up a couple times to eat. Woke up, I came downstairs. My mom had made me like eggs and toast. I ate, but it was like a sleepwalk zombie. Like, and then I went right back to bed and went back to sleep. And I think I woke up twice to eat. Just went right back to bed. And I remember my mom was like so freaked out because my body was like, I don't know what was happening to my body. I mean, I was like just extreme exhaustion, probably dehydration, probably malnourished. And my mom, I remember, took a video of me while I was sleeping because she came in my room because I was asleep for more than a day. I'm in my room and I was like sleeping and like twitching and like really like weird in my sleep, and she was like concerned and she like filmed me and showed me when I woke up, and she was like, what was a 26-hour slumber about? Like, are you in hibernation? Like you were making weird noises, really like grunting. Like I don't know if I was dreaming. Like I think my body was just like trying to stay alive. Like I don't know. I remember waking up after 26 hours and I just remember being like, how am I supposed to like justify, like, and I just would tell my parents, I'm like, yeah, I was just really tired. You were just really tired. You were so tired. You slept for more than a day. My parents definitely knew something was going on, but like, what were they going to say? Like, nobody can stop me from doing what I'm doing when I'm all the way like in college. We kind of just like didn't talk about it after that. I slept 26 hours and I think that they were just kind of like, hey, we're just gonna not address this at the moment. I think nobody really knew what to do. I think it was just very strange. They did not enable me for very long. They eventually got to the point where they were like, if you keep like using and drinking on our dime and in our house, like you're gonna have to go somewhere else to do those things and we're not gonna support you anymore. I did end up getting sober for the first time when I was 21, right before my senior year. So probably like 8 months after this 26-hour hibernation. I forgot about that and I remembered it last night that I literally slept 26 hours. I couldn't wait to share it with you guys because I was like, that is a crazy thing I did. And I went crash usually for a long time, but 26 hours, what a waste of time, honestly. I think about that stuff and I'm so glad that I don't have to like just fall victim to this cycle that I didn't want to be in it. And I was like, I don't want to do this, but I also can't stop. Like I cannot stop doing this. I just think it's so interesting how like I'm deep down, like I always felt so uncomfortable with what I was doing and I knew that it wasn't right. My mentality was like, well, let's just do more of the dry good, or let's just drink and like just bury those feelings. I just didn't want to feel any sort of uncomfortable feeling that was like unsettling with myself, because I knew what I was doing like with me wasn't congruent with my morals. When I got sober, I finally was able to look at that and be like, okay, these actually aren't things that I feel like are things I want to do with my life. I can now live in a healthier and much more productive way that I feel aligns with me as a person. I love you guys. Bye.
I was caught using AI to write wedding vows and partner walked out. What to do? I, 35 male, recently had a wedding with my partner, 34 female. We've had a stable and happy relationship so far, and I love her more than anything in the world. The problem arose when I came to writing vows. Don't get me wrong, I love many things about my partner, but I couldn't figure out how to put them into tangible vows. I decided to use ChatGPT so I can have something well written and expressive to share at the ceremony. The thing about my partner is that she's very confrontational and no nonsense. If something annoys her, she immediately addresses it with no room for backing out. I also know that she's expressed disdain for AI in the past, but I didn't realize how far the hatred could go. I don't know how, but she immediately recognized that the vows were AI. After I'd finished, she had this angry look and whispered to me, "Did you use AI to write that?" I was quiet because I couldn't believe she had noticed that, and she was choosing to address it while we were on full display for everyone. She then said, "I either speak from the heart or she walks out." I literally couldn't get any words out, and she kept her promise and walked back down the aisle, much to our friends and family's confusion. I just feel like if you need AI to write vows for the day that you are getting married to the love of your life, you actually don't love them that much. I get that maybe forming the words might be hard, but it should be pretty easy to come from the heart and be like, let me express what I want this marriage to mean, how much I love you, how happy I am that we're going to take this journey for the rest of our lives. Like, it's not super hard. And if you can't do that and then your solution is to go straight to AI to write it for you, like, I think you're just a lazy piece of shit. I don't think it's like me not good with words. It's like, no, you lazy as She's been ghosting me these past few days, which is atypical for her and honestly gives me panic attacks. Most people agree that calling off a marriage because AI vows was an overreaction and that maybe it was a sign that our relationship would have issues, but a few female friends have said that they would have done the same. I'm hurt and honestly just needed it to help me make the day more special. Is it worth fixing? Don't get me wrong, it doesn't help that she doesn't like AI, which, I mean, should have been an indicator also that, like, hey, maybe these words that are supposed to be super deep and meaningful shouldn't be written by something that my partner already hates. But, like, it's the same as, like, if your friend had written this and your partner had figured it out. It's mainly because of the fact that, like, this didn't come from you. You didn't put the time and effort into writing vows that are supposed to be, like, the first commitment to your marriage. What does that say about what the rest of your marriage is gonna be like? I'll give you a hint. Dog. Like, what is he gonna, like, every time that he pisses off his wife, is he gonna chat GPT an apology to her? I like what Marshall said here. It's like giving a stranger a list of facts about your partner and making them do it. Wild. No, for real. How do you even prompt chat GPT to write vows for a partner that, like, only you would know what to put in those vows? That's actually crazy to me. Like, there's no way that you could relay to an AI all the things that your relationship has built up and the feelings and the emotions, the experiences, the journey. Like, there's no way you can communicate that to ChatGPT to spit out good enough vows, you know? It probably gave the most cookie cutter dog shit response ever. Unironically, he probably would ChatGPT an apology. Y'all, I genuinely think he chat GPT'd this post. Like, this post feels like somebody chat GPT'd it. And who knows, maybe it's because it's fake, or maybe this dude is just really on this, like, bro, I can't do anything. My brain no working. Let me chat GPT everything in my life. Edit. Okay, I screwed up. I didn't check this post for a while because I wanted more points of view instead of just getting torn to shreds. But I understand why the situation is worse than I thought it was. I've been trying to contact my partner's family to see if I can talk to her again, but apparently she's been staying out of state with her sister. I'm going to tell her when she gets back what I heard here and that I understand. I'm also going to write new vows without AI and bring her favorite flowers and snacks. Ah, yes, that will surely make up for ruining the day that was supposed to be the beginning of your marriage. But sure, man, get her some flowers and favorite snacks. I still want her to know that I love her and know her. I will post an update when I can. Thank you all, even if some feedback could have been a tad more nicely put. I went on the internet and explained how much and people were mean to me. I wish you guys would have been nicer to me. This is honestly the scariest part of AI is like, are people just gonna let AI completely make decisions for them and be the thought process for them? That's the part about AI that I don't like. Before I started reading on this stream, I was talking about how the last time I used AI was to help me figure out how to sign up for Nevada insurance. To me, that's a good use of AI because I'm gonna have to do that anyways. I might as well have something help me because I'm a real signing up for insurance makes me want to deep throat a. But like, I couldn't fathom using it to write vows for my whole wife that I love. That's just being lazy. That's just like not caring about someone enough to give them what they deserve, aka something from deep down in your heart, something meaningful, something only you could produce. Instead, you chose to take the easy route so that you could probably go do something else of, hey, ChatGPT, write me some vows for my wife. Here's like 3 things that you could make the vows about. Like, why?
Why is your family, your very toxic, dysfunctional, abusive family, mother, father, grandparents, siblings, cousins, aunties, uncles, your very toxic family, why are they trying so hard to pull you back in after you have cut them off? Why are they violating your boundaries, stalking your social media, inviting you to the group chat, texting you, DMing you, trying to get your attention and make you feel bad for cutting them off, while at the same time trying to get you to come back to re-engage with them, to be a part of their dysfunction after you have cut them off? Well, first of all, this video is only for those of you that have been scapegoated your entire life in your family. And when I say scapegoat, bullied, blamed, teased, fucked over, gossiped, laughed about, mocked. Okay? There's usually one, possibly 2, but there's always one in every toxic, dysfunctional, cult-like family. A family that is a collection of highly toxic, narcissistic individuals. This video is for you. You are the scapegoat, which also means black sheep and chosen one. Now, to understand why your family moves the way that they do, you have to understand the psychology and mindset of a narcissist. Narcissists are incredibly and deeply insecure, highly competitive, and threatened by people they deem successful and better than them. You are chosen. And I promise you, you have a light inside of you. Okay, your family members can have more money, more material possessions than you. They can have a better education. They can have more than you, tangible, and still envy you. You can have nothing. You could be homeless on the street, but I'm telling you, they are jealous of your spirit. They are jealous of the light inside of you. Okay, narcissists, they can see it within you before you see it within yourself. They envy the anointing, the covering, the protection that God has placed on your life because you are chosen. Let's get that out the way first. So that's why your entire life, everything has been hard because your family members challenge you in such a negative way. They compete with you. They berate you, belittle you, and you're trying to figure out why. What have I ever done to be fucking treated this way? It's because they know, they can see the anointing that God has placed over your life and they hate you for it. And honestly, God would give them the same anointing if they would stop being fucking evil and work on themselves. But narcissists are not self-aware. If they go to therapy, they're going to lie to the therapist and avoid correcting themselves and healing. They're just going through the motions so they have bragging rights. Oh, I went to a therapist. No, bitch, are you taking everything that the therapist teaches you and applying it so that you change your fucking behavior? No.
That's a true narcissist. Or they're the other narcissists and sociopaths that avoid going to therapy altogether because they have a godlike complex and they feel like there's nothing wrong with them. Yes, you have a family full of these toxic individuals and they hate you because you're not like them and you've cut them off to stand up to their bad behavior, their dysfunction, and the generational trauma and curse that's placed over the entire bloodline. You've had enough and you don't want to be a part of that anymore. And they will hate you and despise you for taking a stand against their dysfunction. Because your family members are narcissistic and they are highly, deeply insecure, they are depending on you to come back so that you can validate their ego. You are the scapegoat, and you have to understand they need a scapegoat, somebody they can project their issues onto, somebody they can bully so that they don't have to work on themselves. Okay? But not only that, if you are not there, who will validate their whole fucking existence? See, they need you to argue, fight, and all of that, because when you give them that type of attention and energy, you are validating the ego of a narcissist. Even if it's negative attention, even if y'all fight, argue, carry on, you are still giving your narcissistic family members energy and narcissistic supply, some form of attention, even if it's negative. So that's why they are fighting so hard to pull you back in after you cut them off. Not only do they need a scapegoat to bully, they need validation. And if you go back to them, they're going to sit up and they're going to act really arrogant. See, I told you she couldn't leave us alone. She ain't shit without us. They get arrogant and egotistical. And they're going to think that you cannot survive without their validation. I'm going to tell you now, don't you give it to them. Don't you go back and validate shit. You treat them like they are nothing, like they are scum of the fucking earth. Let them stalk your social media, but don't say shit to them motherfuckers. Let them suffer in silence without your attention and validation. Fuck them. They really thought you was going to come back running to them. They pushed you away, remember. They pushed you away and they really, really thought you would come running back to them. And the plan fucking backfired. I ain't running back to shit, bitch. I'ma level up in y'all motherfucking faces, bitch, and really make you fucking mad. This is my book, My Family Can Kiss My Ass. It is available on Amazon, y'all. This is a quick read and it's super affordable, right in time for the fucking holidays when your family members are snooping around trying to get you to come back and break no contact. Stand on business with your toxic family. Stay away from them and have an amazing holiday with your friends or take yourself out to eat or what have you. Get this book and it will help you deal with your family members or, give you the strength to cut them off and to stay solid with your boundaries while leveling up.
If you are a heterosexual woman, you have to accept the fact that being in a relationship is considered a game. Getting married is considered a game. Anytime that you are in proximity to a man, you're not in a relationship. You are playing a game. Games require strategy, and there is a term that women are super fearful of and very scared of having happening to them, which implies that relationships with men are indeed a game. The word is called cheating. When you look up the term cheating, it's going to be in reference to having the upper hand in a scenario because it's in the context of it being a game. Because you are allowing yourself to have the greater advantage at the expense of somebody else. That's what it means when someone gets cheated on. It's implying the fact that a relationship is a game. It requires a level of strategy. Men do not get in relationships with women because they love you and they care about you and they want to make you happy. They get into relationships with you because they see it as a game. Men are taught at a young age how to run game on women. This is the reason why it's a humiliation ritual, because women have subconsciously been programmed to sign up, yearn, and long to play a game with men where men are given the upper hand and the advantage, and women have permanently and purposely been rigged to lose in the game. Men understand a woman's emotions. This is why they call women emotional. This is another aspect of the game. Men take emotional stock in you fear being cheated on because they know that when they cheat on you, they win the game because you invest more of your emotions caring. The truth of a relationship is that the person that cares the least wins the game. That is how men look at a relationship. Whoever cares the least amount is the person that wins. This is the reason why you're going to find stories of women talking about how a man that they're married to asked them for a divorce, and instead of the woman crying, pleading, begging, she said, okay. And then she went as far as to hire a lawyer. And then as soon as she went to hire the lawyer, paperwork is ready. It's time to get it signed, sealed, and delivered. The man starts crashing out because he was trying to play a game. He was trying to get the upper hand to extract his wife's emotions, because that is how men continuously are able to play this game, by harvesting the emotional energy that women display, because that is a part of being rigged in the game. Whoever has the most emotional stock in a relationship is the loser. This is the reason why men are taught under patriarchal conditioning to not put things like vulnerability, empathy, and emotions on a pedestal, because it is a sign of weakness. And so when men see you, when they see you displaying this, they look at you as weak, and they're getting confirmation that they are winning the game. So men purposely will create these dynamics in which they can harvest your emotional energy by cheating. Men are not bad at cheating, and men are not sloppy cheaters. Men want you to know that they're cheating on you, because as long as you know that they're cheating on you, they understand that you are going to have emotions to extract from. This is why men say that you could tell that a woman is truly done with the relationship when she's nice about it. She pulls a Kaylani and she folds your fucking clothes. She doesn't crash out. She doesn't lash out. She doesn't start crying. She's just calm, cool, nonchalant, and collected about it. Because she now understands the strategy of the game, and she now understands how to not put herself in a predicament of allowing herself to be rigged in this game of a relationship. I don't care what anybody tells you. Relationships are transactional. Everything in the world is transactional. There is not a single thing in this world that is not transactional. Unconditional love does not exist. It doesn't even exist for your children, because you also have to discipline your children to teach them how to function in society. You cannot sit here and turn a blind eye to the fuck shit that your children are doing, especially if it is disrupting another person or harming another person. There has to be a level of conditions on the love that you give someone in order to protect you and in order to protect other people. Games are a part of a transaction, okay? The housing market is a game. When you go and, even with Black Friday, people understand now that Black Friday is a fucking rigged game. They're over here marking down prices for the prices that already exist. Those are already the existing prices. They just inflated it and then slashed it to its original price to make you think that you were getting a deal on the transaction. This is why women like myself have opted out. I've played the game with men for over a decade, and I'm exhausted. The amount of energy that has to leak in order for me to keep a man in my life is not worth what they have to give me. The transaction is not worth it to me. The quicker you understand that relationships are nothing but a game that require intellect about men and require strategy in order to protect yourself, the easier it's going to be to prevent your heart being broken, because you cannot have a big open heart and deal with men at the same time. It's going to get you fucked over every single time. Be smart.
Always, always, always assume that a man will switch up on you. I don't care how sweet he is, how nice he is, how much money he blows on you, how many trips or vacations he takes you on. Always, always assume that he will switch up at any time. See, society will pressure women to get into relationships and marriage, and that our value will decrease if we're unable to attain a man. But society and our family, mother, father, grandparents, nobody teaches women what to do when a motherfucker blindsides you. You know, a man that courted you and treated you properly, you held out on sex, you did everything correctly, or so you thought. And he still ended up pulling the rug from underneath your feet. He blindsided you. Well, what if we as women prepared better? And I'm going to just say, you know, don't get out into the dating game if you're not ready, because, baby, it's treacherous out here. The dating game is only for those of us that are emotionally and mentally strong enough to handle it. If you're not prepared to have your ego bruised, or you're not prepared to be rejected or played with, don't date. Just stay celibate and single and mind your business and drink your water. This dating shit is not for the fucking weak. If you're going to date, especially if you're going to date multiple people, you have to have a mindset of preparing for failure, preparing to be let down even after top-notch treatment. Even after a nigga tricks on you and treats you special, you still have to be prepared for the switch up. See, men love bait and switch tactics. Men love pulling the rug from underneath your feet. Men love emotional reactions from women because it reassures them. It gets them external validation. It strokes the ego, especially if he's very insecure. He will try to provoke you or do something to elicit an emotional reaction out of you early on in the dating stages, the talking stages. And you need to be leery of that. You need to run in the opposite direction if he tries to toy with you or play that type of game with you. Okay? Be prepared for the switch up. Men that switch up are very immature. I don't care how well dressed he is, how much money he makes. He could drive the best cars, and he could be extremely successful and wealthy and still be low class, low vibrational, and a piece of trash. He switches up because he needs some sort of validation from you, emotional reaction from you. Don't give it to him. You know, you go silent, you disappear. You basically, if it was up to me, I say give the man a mental funeral and never deal with him ever again. We don't have time in this day and age to entertain those types of psychological games. You want a man who is emotionally mature, emotionally healthy, a man that has worked on himself extensively in therapy and spiritually, a man that is intentional and knows what he wants, and he's not going to fuck around with you. He's not going to risk losing you to another man. And when he courts you, it will be consistently. He will be transparent. There will be no nonsense, no game playing, no BS. He's going to be on top of it. And the treatment just gets better and better. Because he understands that, you know, the more that you are feeling special and validated, and the more that you feel, you know, that you can rest in your feminine energy and be soft and ladylike because you feel emotionally safe and secure with him, the more that the relationship will thrive. It's just going to flow and feel beautiful because he's not playing games. He knows who the fuck he is. He's self-aware. He knows what he wants, and he's going to be intentional. He's not going to be entertaining other women outside of you. He's going to be focused solely on you. But for all the other busters out here, if you're going to get out here and date, ladies, be prepared for the switch up. And they'll switch up on you with an engagement ring on. They'll switch up on you in marriage. That's why I'm a huge advocate for mental health evaluations, psychiatric evaluations before you commit. I'm not committing to anyone without us going to a psychiatrist and both getting evaluated. I'm an open book when it comes to my mental health because I know who the fuck I am. I have nothing to hide, and I'm not a manipulator. Okay? And I'm super confident that, you know, my mental health evaluation will reveal that. So if the brother is a good dude, he's going to agree. Before we get in too deep, we need to get tested for STDs. We need to make sure that we're both financially stable and psychologically stable. Okay? But ladies, stay strong. You know, if you're going to get out here and date, it's nasty, it's ugly out here, and you have to be really strong-minded. Your mindset has to be vigilant. No nonsense. You got to cut them at the first red flag. Don't take no shit. Don't take no... Inconsistency should be a non-negotiable deal breaker, ladies. Do not tolerate inconsistency. I know you're going to miss the good treatment. That's why he's treating you special to begin with. Because he knows once he switches up and pulls back and stops treating you good, you're going to be fixated and obsessed with the good guy that he first presented to you. And that's not who he is. That's his representative. When he switches up on you and he pulls back, that's the bad guy. That's his true character. And that's what you should focus on. And that's how you should deal with him accordingly to his bad behavior. He's not a good guy once he switches up on you. Cut him off. Make him suffer the consequences by denying access into your life. You want the mature guy that's not going to play games and switch up on you. Have a blessed day, ladies.
I've not done a piercing tour yet. I've not done a piercing tour or showed off all my piercings, and I feel like you guys deserve that. Y'all always ask about my piercings because I'm making it my whole fucking personality is my piercing. So we're gonna start off with what piercings I had first. So in 2nd grade, I got my ears done because I asked my dad so many times. I said, can I get my ears pierced? And he literally was telling me that only boys can have one piercing in their fucking ear or something like that. So he literally went and got one of my ears pierced. I don't remember. I think it was the fucking left, whatever these people think. He went and he gave me one piercing. He literally only let me do one piercing. So when I went home, I literally, like, bitch, they give you 2 piercings. Like, there's literally 2 rings. So I went home and I shoved the other one through my ear and I had my ears pierced, period. So then when I got to my freshman year of high school, I wanted a cartilage, which this is like stuck in my fucking ear. Like, I'm not kidding you. I will never take it out. I will never fuck with it. I literally pierced it with a sewing needle and a fucking apple. And y'all are like, what? I put the apple behind my ear, shoved the sewing needle through my fucking ear, and then pulled it out and I shoved the ring in. 10 out of 10. Bitch, this is my 2nd most painful piercing ever. 2nd. Like, that one's like a 9 out of 10. Hurts. My earlobes, bitch, that was like a 0 out of 3. Like, bitch, I don't even remember. It did not hurt at all, right? Then I got my top belly button done because I've always, literally, I'm not kidding you, I did this when I was 13. Like, I literally got this right after my freshman year, or I got it in my freshman year of high school. So literally right after I did this in like December. I did this in like probably January, February or something like that. And I pierced my top belly button because I've always, ever since I was a child, I wanted my belly button pierced. Like, I literally asked for it every day. Then in high school, there was a girl that walked into school and she had both her belly button pierced. And I literally went home and I literally had my friend Kelby pierce my bottom belly button because literally, are you fucking kidding me? It's so fucking cute. Like, it is so fucking cute. Like, I literally can't. I love it. I'm addicted and I just love it down. So then oh my God. And then I literally went and I got my nose pierced. Like, I'm literally getting ahead of myself. Then I went and I got my nose pierced by Clean. Clean's the one that shoved the cigarette up my nose. And you all are like, why did he shove a cigarette up your nose? Babe, because the fucking piercing could go through my whole nose. So it literally went through the cigarette butt. I have no idea, but he used a cigarette butt. That's it. And it looks professional. Like, bitch, that nose is cute. Like, bitch, that nose piercing is cute. I know everyone has, like, piercings here, and here, and the double piercings, stuff like that. I just want the one hoop. Like, I literally just like the one hoop. I want to give Kesha from, like, 2008, 2010, bitch. Like, that's the vibe that I'm giving with my nose. So then, me and my ex started talking again, and he literally played me the fuck down. So it was either A, I shave all my head bald, more than it already is, and my eyebrows, or I go get an eyebrow piercing. Because I was just thinking. And so I went and I got an eyebrow piercing. I'm addicted. I love my eyebrow piercing. Y'all keep talking shit about it being so long. You guys, I need to go to my piercer and get it changed out. Like, I'm just not going to change it myself. Like, bitch, it's too pretty. It's too cute. I'm going to go get it changed out by an actual professional. That's why it looks too big, okay? And obviously they put a big ring in because it's going to fucking swell. So anywho, I didn't even rate the pains. My belly button, my top belly button, bitch, like, 3 out of 10. Like, I recommend belly button piercing. I can't even put it into words. My Reagan, the friend that we like, I pierced her belly button and she was so fucking scared at first, and then she got it done and she literally said she is so glad that I literally talked her into getting it done because it's literally the best piercing ever. It's life-changing, you guys. You will literally take so many more pictures with your shirt lifted up with the crop top. Like, it's so cute. I love it. I would always recommend a belly button piercing. The bottom belly button piercing, that one was like a 5 out of 10, okay? That one was a little bit more stingy. I don't know if it's because the bitch went slow. I have no idea, but it hurt just a little bit more, okay? Then, the nose piercing, 0 out of 10. Maybe it's because I had a cigarette in my nose and I was paying attention to a lot more different things than, you know, I was paying attention to my surroundings than what was happening in my fucking face. So, yeah, like a 2 out of 10, bitch. Didn't even hurt at all. Eyebrow, 2 out of 10. When he got it done, I like literally was actually surprised. So then I have my dermal, which this is literally just a diamond in my face, you guys. This one was a spur of the moment too. I literally just went and I did it. I didn't even think I would like it. I genuinely love it so much. It did not hurt you at all, you guys. The only part that felt uncomfortable is you can feel the skin getting pulled out because obviously they like use a different type of piercing thing and then they put it in, and yeah, the bar is literally stuck in my face. I like the jewelry, so I'm never going to change it. Like, I just don't think I'm going to. So then after that, I was like, that one didn't hurt. Like, literally the dermal was like 4 out of 10. Like, it really was not that bad. So I was like, okay, like everyone says the dermal is so piercing or so painful. If I can do the dermal, I can go do the Medusa. Right. So I went and I did this and I got this done. Bitch, 10 out of 10. This is my most painful piercing ever. Like, I'm not kidding you. It literally felt like I've never had so much pressure on my face, if that makes sense. Like, it literally felt pressurized. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It hurt so fucking bad. I wanted to punch the guy. Like, I genuinely thought I was going to round up the motherfucker. Like, that's how bad it fucking hurt. And then the healing process, bitch, literally I looked like fucking Kylie Jenner just got punched in the mouth. It hurt so bad. Bitch, I would only recommend it if you, like, literally have to die for it. Like, because now it's my favorite piercing. I didn't even think I would love it. But I love it. And I low-key want to get this done and then change it out and put a hoop. Like, I think that would be cute, but I don't think I can do another lip piercing. I really don't. Like, I really fucking don't. And to the girls that have these done, shout out to you. Because, bitch, one and then the other, no. No, after I did this, if he literally was like, okay, next one, and had to do it again, bitch, I would have had a lawsuit. Because I literally would have got sued for punching my piercer because, bitch, that shit hurt so fucking bad. But yeah, here's my piercing tour because y'all have been asking for it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it, love it, and go get that face pierced, bitch.
My girlfriend is the one. I'm gonna marry her. My sister-in-law was a nurse who passed away during the pandemic. It destroyed my brother and my nephew. My nephew's birthday is today. My brother is working now, but he was laid off earlier during the pandemic. Our family isn't well off and we don't have a lot, and neither do my sister-in-law's parents. But we were all determined to put together something for my nephew's birthday. This is where my girlfriend stepped up. Through someone that she works with at the hospital, she got 2 tickets to a magic game. She gave them to my brother and said to tell my nephew they were from him. My nephew is a huge Magic fan. The game was yesterday. It was only a preseason game. The Magic aren't a great team and the seats weren't the best in the house, but my nephew was over the moon. Today, he's so excited and happy. He won't stop talking about the game. It's like how he was before my sister-in-law passed away. Instead of taking all the glory, my girlfriend is letting him believe my brother bought the tickets and that her gift to him was a Lego set. My brother, my parents, and even my sister-in-law's parents, they've told me today not to let her get away. But even before they said anything, I realized that I want to marry her. This is the sweetest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh, y'all know I love the feel-good stories. And the best part is, OP gave us an update 3 years later. My update is the title. I did marry her. I totally forgot about posting here until I tried signing up for an account and realized my email was already used for one. My post only got a few comments, but I do appreciate them. I knew my wife was the one after what she did for my nephew and brother. Our relationship was still new, so obviously I didn't propose immediately. But after that, I knew. We got married in August, and it was honestly the best day of my life. My nephew is doing great. Obviously, he misses his mom, and that will never go away. We all miss my sister-in-law. I really admire my brother. If I lost my wife, I would never be able to get out of bed. I know losing my sister-in-law destroyed my brother, but he gets up every day and keeps on living. It's not exciting or anything like some of the posts here, but that's my update. It doesn't have to be exciting. It's heartfelt. Honestly, sir, you met the love of your life and you knew immediately because she's an absolute fucking gem. Thank you for coming back and giving us an update. I vaguely remember reading this story years ago when OP first posted it.
Join the live and comment LeBron James.
Am I the asshole for evicting my girlfriend of 3 years? I'm 33, received an inheritance when I was 24 and used it to buy a condo in downtown Vancouver, a short walk away from where I work. Stephanie's 28. We started dating 3 years ago and she's been living here for the last 2 years. As I own the place outright, I don't charge a rent. I also make much more, so I pay for pretty much everything else too. Saturday morning, about a month ago, she told me she was going to a family dinner. Her parents live about an hour drive away. In the time we've been together, I've gone with her to family dinner about 30 to 40 times over the 3 years. But this time I wasn't invited. She told me they were having a family meeting to discuss what to do with grandma who was showing signs of dementia. Damn. Her brother and aunt from out of town were coming too. I own a car and she wanted to borrow it. Okay. So she leaves in the afternoon, and around 10 p.m. I get a text that she had a few glasses of wine with her mom and she's going to spend the night. Next morning around 10 a.m., she's still not home. She's not answering my calls or looking at my texts, so I call her mom, who tells me she's not there and there was no family dinner. Woo-hoo-hoo! So what really happened? Around noon, someone is buzzing me from the entrance of the building. It's her. I buzz her in. First thing she tells me is she lost her keys, which included the fob to enter the building, the key to my apartment, and the key to my car. That's crazy. She also doesn't know where my car is. Turns out she went clubbing with a friend. They met a group of guys, a group of 3 guys, and decided to go home with them. Brother. Stephanie was drunk, so allowed one of the 3 guys to be the driver of my new car. When they arrived at one of their places, my car was parked in a no parking area and later towed. It was parked at a bus stop in downtown Vancouver. Yeah, your shit is at the lot, brother. Stephanie believes she did nothing wrong as she didn't park the car. She also says she didn't have sex with any of the guys, just her friend did. She was just there to make sure her friend was safe. I don't believe a damn word coming out your damn mouth. Come on now. She doesn't even know the name of the guy that has the keys or how to contact him. She had no choice but to lie to me because I don't like going to clubs. Was I wrong for evicting her? Her entire family thinks I am. Hell nah, you're not wrong. I'm so glad you evicted her because she's been getting over on you in the worst way. She been living rent-free in your crib for the last 2 years, and all that to say nothing of the fact that she lied to you, which was a dumb lie because that's easily verifiable, to go to a club with your whip with her friend, let another dude drive it, and you got your shit impounded. I mean, it's not a lot of other situations that I could think of that's grounds for eviction, but this is definitely one of them. Her family think you tripping because they know that she had it going on. You know what I'm saying? She had a good deal going on. She was probably saving up buku money, living in your crib rent-free. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what she was paying, but if she wasn't paying rent, then that's the biggest thing that anybody got to pay for. Rent, mortgage, that kind of shit. Yeah, you ain't the asshole at all. Man, that is probably the craziest story I read on Reddit.
I am totally blind. I do not have any eyesight at all. I cannot see any fucking thing. I cannot see light. I cannot see colors. I cannot see shadows. It is completely fucking dark for me.
So the wannabe girls always get in my comments upset every time I make a video talking about the dangers of befriending male-centered women and how they will absolutely at one point or another put you in a dangerous, if not life-threatening situation, all for the sake of male attention. And I'm going to use this situation as a perfect example as to why I will never give a fuck. So this lovely woman, Sparrow, at least that's her name on social media, so that's what we're going to call her. She ends up getting online and telling us about how she went out to a club in Vegas with a girl who she thought was her friend because they both wanted to attend a DJ Mustard set. And as you heard in the first clip, she is 100% blind. Sparrow went on to say that the night started off good, they were having drinks, they were having fun, up until the point that a man began to dance with Sparrow, and come to find out the man was apparently a famous football player. Now, she's not sure what football player it was, she's not even sure of his name, and in her words, it's not like she could see him anyways, so she didn't even really care. But apparently the friend did care, because the friend proceeded to interject between the two of them dancing. She moved Sparrow out of the way, and then began dancing with the football player herself. Now, Sparrow went on to say that this wasn't a big deal to her because she doesn't go to the club to hook up anyway, she's just there to dance and have a good time. Well, the football player eventually ends up leaving. He finds him something else to do or someone else to dance with. And by that time, Sparrow was already dancing with another man because it's not like they're in short supply. According to Sparrow, there were plenty to choose from. And about 45 minutes to an hour later, Sparrow says that she begins to realize that she hadn't heard her friend's voice that entire time. Because while Sparrow and her friend will dance with people and kind of do their own thing, according to Sparrow, they will occasionally lean in and check in on one another, laugh, joke, whatever the case may be. Especially considering the fact that Sparrow can't see, so you have to verbally check in with her. Sparrow said that she's able to recognize her friend based off of the way that her friend's dress feels, so she begins to kind of feel around the club, not trying to be too conspicuous, not trying to be too obvious, but she's trying to feel around to see if she feels her friend's dress, and she realizes that her friend is nowhere to be found. The Sparrow pulls her phone out of her bag. Obviously, she has her phone set up to where it'll read stuff out to her, and her phone begins to read a text message to her from the friend that she was just at the club with, and it says, "Sorry, get home safe, I left." So at this point, Sparrow's in a full-blown panic because she's in the middle of this nightclub in Vegas. She's intoxicated, she can't see anything, and she has no idea as to how she's going to make it out of the club and make it home, especially considering the fact that she rode there with her friend. So Sparrow ends up having to take her cane out of her bag, you know, the cane that lots of blind people use to help them navigate around. She ends up taking it out of her bag, and she ends up having to ask the dude that she's dancing with if he minds helping her find her way out of the club so she can try to get an Uber home. Now, thankfully, the man that Sparrow had been dancing with was actually a decent human being with no ill intentions, and he ends up helping her find her way out of the club, and he even stands outside with her until her Uber gets there. Sparrow thankfully makes it home safe. The next day rolls around. Obviously, Sparrow's still upset, so she says that she's just going to sit around and wait to see if the friend says anything first. The friend does end up texting Sparrow, and she pretends like nothing even happened. She just texts her and is like, "Hey, how was your night? You know, sorry I had to leave." Now, obviously, Sparrow goes off on the girl, and she's like, "How was my night? Girl, you abandoned me in the middle of the club." And you know, the friend responded and was like, "Oh, well, you were in your own little world having fun, and I was miserable, so I just left." And she was miserable because Sparrow was getting male attention, and she was not. She interjected into the midst of a dance between Sparrow and that famous football player, and the famous football player ended up leaving because he wanted to dance with Sparrow, not the friend. That girl abandoned her blind friend in the middle of a nightclub in Vegas, all because she was not getting the level of male attention that she wanted. You don't abandon your non-disabled friend in the middle of a nightclub, let alone your friend who was 100% blind. But that's what male-centered women do. They cannot have a good time without male attention, without male validation. And they will low-key hate you and resent you and want revenge against you for getting more male attention than they get, even if you don't actually want it. In my opinion, that girl only befriended Sparrow because in her mind, she's like, "Oh, well, who's going to go for a blind girl?" Plenty of people. Sparrow's literally gorgeous. In the midst of that nightclub, when she saw that more men were going for Sparrow than they were going for her, you can't convince me she didn't abandon her as a form of revenge. And honestly, I would go as far as to say that she was low-key hoping that something bad would happen to her. But at bare minimum, it was a case of, "Oh, you think you're hot stuff? These dudes think you're attractive? Let's see how attractive they think you are whenever you can't find your way out the club. Let's see how attractive they think you are once they realize that you're blind and can't see." Male-centered women are dangerous. They will screw you over.
There is a very specific kind of ache that comes from looking loved but feeling invisible. And based on the comments on my last post about this, that ache isn't rare. It's just rarely talked about. So I was not trying to go viral with that post. I was just telling the truth about what it feels like to be in a relationship with someone who's there but not really there. And y'all flooded the comments like, "Yup, that's me. That's exactly how it feels." So let's talk about it. When the person you're with can't meet you emotionally, you start to wonder if you're doing too much, if maybe you're the reason something feels off. You start shrinking your needs just to keep the peace. But just because they're next to you doesn't mean you're actually being loved. Sometimes that distance comes from addiction. Sometimes it's childhood shit they never unpacked. Sometimes they just never learned how to show up emotionally and they don't even know they're doing harm. The point is, it's not you being needy. It's them being disconnected. Now, a few people in the comments said, "Well, that should just help me and harm." Let me stop you right there. Men are not built to be emotionally clueless. They are taught to stay disconnected. They're raised to think feelings are weakness, and then they bring that shit into their relationships and call it normal. But halfway love is not normal. Feeling alone when you're not single is not normal. And being told you're too emotional for wanting real connection, also not normal. That's not you asking for too much. That's you realizing you've been given too little. Now, I've had so many women ask me since that last post, is my relationship doomed? Should I leave? And the truth is, I can't answer that for you. But what I can say is this: it's rare, not impossible, but rare for someone to look in the mirror and choose to change how they show up emotionally. Because it's not a quick fix. It's not a surface thing. It means that they would need to face themselves. So you've got to ask yourself the real question. If nothing ever changes, because it most likely won't, could I live like this for the rest of my life? That's not bitterness. That's clarity. Love without presence isn't love. It's performance. And eventually you stop clapping.
The only thing that a man can offer me that's valuable is to teach me how the predator survives in the wild. The only way a man is beneficial to me is by teaching me how he survives in his habitat of men. How does he prevent himself from being dominated, controlled, broken? How does he remain solid? Not because I want to be like him, right? I'm a woman. So how men survive is not how women survive. It's two totally different things. What I want to learn is how the predator that is potentially dangerous to me, right? How does he maintain himself whilst he's in the wild with others like him? Understanding the psyche of men, understanding how they keep themselves alive, that's a form of protection for women. Where women fail is believing that men are like us, believing that men should be certain ways because it makes us comfortable. When the fact is, our first line of defense is us. It's this. It's not men. Men are not protectors of women. Men are protectors of their interests. When a man is benefiting from you, in whatever way, there's many ways men can benefit from women, right? All of us are useful to men, but we're not all valuable. Being valuable is a whole nother level, right? But whether you're useful or valuable to a man, right? They're protecting that. You're just benefiting from the protection of whatever it is he wants access to. None of this is about us. When you start to realize that people are doing things and being what benefits them, everything is about them. When you stop taking things so personally, things won't be so offensive, right? It's not offensive to me that a man is not necessarily protecting me. He's protecting whatever he wants to get access to from me. Because if a man is not investing in you, if he's not benefiting from you, there's no reason for him to even care about you. This is why, like, women will say, why didn't he just tell me? You know, a lot of times men don't correct you, don't tell you about yourself, is because they don't care about you. There's no reason to tell you about who and what you are because they're not benefiting from you being better or worse. It doesn't matter, right? So a man could have a wife, lay with a wife, or a woman, doesn't have to be his wife, share with her, be a companion and a lover and all these things. Go to sleep, wake up, and go do that same exact thing with somebody else with no regard for the woman that he was doing that with previously. The only regard he has for her, the only thing he's protecting is him wanting to continue to do that with her. So the benefits he gets from having access to her is what he's actually protecting. He's not protecting the woman, her. He's protecting whatever it is that he's gaining from her. When you start to accept things for what they are, they become less offensive. And then you can really play the game then. Again, all women are useful to men because we have sex. We can be used for that, right? Value is a whole nother level. And when you present value to a man, that is worth protecting. Again, it's not you he's protecting the value he wants access to. And he could be protecting the usefulness, right? He wants access to whatever pleasures you offer him. Whatever it is that a man is getting from a woman, he's protecting that. When women learn how to do that, you will move differently with men. You wouldn't take things so personally, the way they do things. It won't be such an ego blow to you, and you will pick, choose, and refuse better. Because you will start looking at life through the lens of value and usefulness. This is why it's easy for me to not allow men to have access to me, because oftentimes there's no usefulness or value. Again, all a man can teach me is how he survives, thrives, and dominates. I can take care of myself. There are things that me as a woman, through my woman eyes and my woman intuition and thinking, that I can't see. I have to see it through the lens of a man. That's all a man can offer me, is surviving and thriving through his purview. All that other stuff, romance and all that, is cool. You know, I'm still a girl and there's certain things I still like. However, what's most important is surviving and thriving. And understanding usefulness and value and benefits. That's how you preserve your life force. See, I talk about other women are here to be used. There are other women here to be semen receptacles and baby portals and all these things, not me. There's a cycle of life here, and there's hierarchy, and you got to get in where you fit in.
A lot of things I've been experiencing the last 4 years. And if you are pretty, good looking, solid, successful, driven, ambitious, decent body, educated, got your own car, your own money, great job, benefits, and you seeking to take care of a man, which a lot of y'all do, most of y'all pick a guy that you have to repair. When you pick those men that you have to repair, you will find out that you will have to repair your face, your soul, your spirit, your credit, and your life. Those covert, microaggressive, sensitive, insecure, dysfunctional men are looking for somebody that they can devastate and destroy. Why? Because it makes them feel good. It makes them feel successful. It makes them feel strong. And a lot of y'all get into these relationships and you have a child with them, and now you're locked in for life. Narcissists or narcissistic people will get you pregnant on purpose, especially when they see you as somebody that they can benefit from. You see it in the beginning. You're like, oh, that was a red flag. I know. Y'all know the red flags. I knew he wasn't working. I knew he had tickets. I knew he was paying child support. I knew he was behind on child support. I knew he smoked cigarettes. I knew he smoked weed. I knew he smoked Black and Miles. I should have known. But when you are so successful as a woman, regardless of how you look and regardless of what type of body you have, you've been successful as a child. You've been groomed to take care of, to bring in, right? You've been groomed to uplift, to rebuild, to to support, to change, to take care of a charity case. You've been groomed for those things because your teachers, your counselors, your parents, your grandparents have all taken care of you, taken good care of you and moved you right along. But it didn't warn you about the insecure, weak man that you are going to encounter. And when you encounter those type of men, they're not in your life to make your life better. They're in your life to make their life better and to ruin your life. And you are so strong educationally, you're so strong spiritually, that you will allow them to chip away at your spirit, at your soul, at your mind. You ever heard of people that cut themselves? The only difference from a strong woman and a woman that's not as strong is that the women that cut themselves is visual. They cut their arms and stuff like that. But you cut yourself mentally, trying to uplift, rebuild, and repair. There are men out here that will wait on you to come and get them, to protect them, to uplift them, to take care of them. And you know what? It makes you feel good because that's when you start to work hard on something. Like you worked hard at your GPA. You worked hard in your major in college. You worked hard in getting your PhD, your master's. You worked hard. You worked hard in getting the best job. You worked hard at getting a great house and having benefits. You worked hard. And now you want to take a break. And then what do? You take a break and you find a charity case. And that charity case will abuse you, will beat you, will talk about you, will put you down until you don't even recognize yourself. So keep that in mind. When you're strong, solid, decent looking, good looking, cute, pretty, hard working, decent body, great body, whatever, woman, you for some reason y'all want the opposite. So you can work hard at building somebody up that's going to work hard at tearing you down. Some of you have a hard time discarding, pushing away, or getting rid of the narcissist or narcissistic person because you've developed chemistry, you develop sexual chemistry, you develop a mental strength that you have. You have a bond with them mentally because they can talk, they can communicate. But you didn't develop a spiritual chemistry, which you thought you had, because narcissists and narcissistic people will never, for me, I've never developed a spiritual chemistry. I've never had spiritual lust. But some of them do. They're really good with the word. They're really good in church, the pastors, the preachers, the rabbis. And so they use that to manipulate you. And a lot of you fall for it. You know why? Because they will do it over and over again for long periods of time. And they seem so believable because they think and know that God will believe them. But punishment will come. Punishment came for me many a times. So a lot of y'all don't want to push them away, don't want to discard them because you're afraid of somebody getting what you have. You're afraid of somebody getting what you've built up. You're afraid of somebody getting the potential that you see in that person. But the truth of the matter is that somebody already has what you have. They have already been, meddling with what you have because the narcissistic person allows them to do that. Cheaters. I cheated since I was 15 years old. I know because I've done it when I started making girls cry at 15. First girl I made cry at 15 felt good. And then from that point on, it felt good to hurt and make other people cry. Even people that work with me or work for me, it felt good. It was safe for me to hurt other people. So that was my security vice, my security blanket. There have been 2 women that were able to discard me and make me think about them for a very long time. This video is about discarding the narcissist with truth. Once you find out the truth about them, because they're going to lie over and over again, they're going to gaslight over and over again for months and for years. They're going to avoid the truth. They don't like being called out. They don't like being caught in a lie. So they're going to lie. They're going to gaslight. They're going to make you seem like you're wrong. They're going to make you doubt yourself. But there have been 2 women that discarded me based on when they had the truth. When you have the truth about a narcissist or narcissistic person, you have to hold steady to that truth. Regardless of what it is, if they lie about kids, they lie about their ex-wife or ex-husband, they lie about their job, they lie about their credit score, they lie about the money that they make. You find out, and I'm not saying go on a witch hunt, but most times you're going to have to go on a witch hunt because a narcissistic person will not come forward and tell you the truth, will not ever come forward and tell you the truth. So those 2 women found out the truth about me and they held steady to it. Once you find out the truth, you should come with facts, maybe dates, times, names, whatever you have, but you have to be ready to end it permanently. You can't discard them with the truth and then go back and forth with it, because now they're not going to believe the information that you have. Then they're going to call you a liar. They're going to call you a cheater. They're going to call you a thief, right? They're going to call you a gaslighter. They're going to call you a narcissist. So once you have the truth and you're ready to be done, and you feel it in your heart and your soul and your spirit, you deliver that, because it's a delivery. God is giving you the answers because you asked for it. A lot of y'all say, Lord, give me the strength to leave Leon alone. And then God gives you the strength, and you feel it in your body, and you know that it's right, and you know that it's the thing to do, and you know that you're ready. You deliver it. You deliver it to the narcissist, and that's when you discard them. And when you discard them with the truth, it's called DWTT, discard with the truth. That was the acronym that I gave it. When you deliver them, when you discard them with the truth, that has to be the end. No more phone calls, no more text messages, no more allow them to come over, no more meeting at the club, no more talking to them when you see them at the gym or the grocery store. It has to be, you have to go straight up cold, silent, like you don't even exist to them anymore. So the only way for you to really get rid of a narcissistic person, is to discard them with the truth. They don't like being called out. They don't like being called a lie, and they don't like being caught in a lie. But discard them with the truth, and you have to stick to it. You have a great day.
There are some more hate comments that I get that don't bother me anymore because they literally don't make any sense. This one's my absolute favorite. I thought I blocked you, because no the fuck you didn't. Because every time y'all comment that, it's like you still don't block me. Same thing goes for the, oh my god, how many times do I have to block you? Clearly you haven't blocked me at all if I'm still showing up on your For You page. You know what I mean? Like, something really funny that I noticed is like the people that comment this are always in my comment section, and they're almost always the first person to comment. And usually when I get this comment, I'll go about it two ways. Either one, I'll block you myself because I guess you don't know how to find the block button. Or I'll just respond back kind of trolling, you know? It boosts my engagement. You know what? While you're here, go ahead and leave me your favorite hate comment right now, okay? So it'll boost my engagement and I get paid. Next are the ones that are like, who even are you? Who even is this? Like, girl, you thought you ate that. I'm the girl with over 2 million followers across all platforms. Who are you? I'm the girl whose video you're commenting on. Who are you? And it's always so funny. I don't know why it's such a coincidence, but every time somebody comments that, I'll go to their page. It's like some type of wannabe influencer ass bitch. Like, girl, you ain't clogging nothing. You thought you ate that. I'm the girl that you want to be. One that I get a lot that makes me really fucking giggle is like, oh my god, you're always so negative. Every time you pop up on my For You page, you're just complaining. You're so negative. And this one makes me laugh because honestly, that says a lot more about you than it says about me, because I make all types of content. I talk about all types of different things. My content is not always negative or me complaining or me talking about my opinions and stuff like that. So like, if the only content of mine that pops up on your For You page is me being negative and me complaining about something, it's called a For You page for a reason. You built your For You page, not me, girl. I'm just the one posting, okay? Like, social media thrives off of drama and rage bait and negativity. You notice with literally any fucking influencer, anytime that they're in any type of drama or talking shit or talking negative in any type of way, that's usually when like they do the best, they get the most views. Pay attention. Influencers like The Bob House or Capri and Piper are always faking like beefs and drama all the time. It's the only time people are talking about them. It's for a reason. Like, if y'all didn't watch that, if y'all didn't want to consume that content wouldn't be so popular. So who's really the problem here? And honestly, this is why the most problematic influencers stick around the longest. Because y'all keep watching. If y'all would stop interacting with the negativity, we would stop posting it. Anyways, here's the final look.
This is what happens when you go no contact with a man. And no, it doesn't matter if you blocked him, he blocked you, he said he never wants to see you again, you said it. Doesn't matter. Circumstances don't matter. First off, he's going to be very stubborn most likely, and also very hyper-focused. So you've got to remember, women, our superpower is multitasking, right? I'm a mom. If you have kids, you can have a kid on your hip, you're cooking, you're doing all these things at once. You're thinking, oh, I've got to do that tomorrow, right? Men, on the other hand, will laser focus. Have you ever tried to talk to a guy while he's watching like an important sports game or playing a video game, right? They're so lasered in. That's that hunter instinct. So why I say that is I don't want you to take it personally. He's not like you. He's not sitting there playing his game and also going, oh, I miss her and all that, right? He's just laser focused. It's not to do with your worth.
Next thing to remember, men are more concerned with being respected, admired, and power. Okay, they'll take that over love and affection any day. To us women, we're like, what? We want love and connection. Men would rather have the power in the situation first, and then close second the love. So it makes it all the more important that you don't break the no contact first, honeys. He's got to really sit in those feelings. He will start to miss you, and he's got to get vulnerable and come towards you. That's going to create more of a bond between the two of you. Whereas if you just keep reaching out and showing up, he's going to be like, oh yeah, she loves me. Now, if you do this properly, you are hyper focusing on your own life, your career, your loved ones, your friends. If you saw my last video, reading is a huge tip. Go watch the last video, it'll give you some gems. But you've got to pull your focus away from the guy authentically. Not faking it, not just not reaching out and staring at your mother effing phone all day, okay? You cannot fake that. They will still feel that anxious energy. And it's not good for you to be hyper-focused on a guy, honey. Don't you want to have a beautiful life? That's why this is not manipulation or a game. You are actually going to learn to focus on you, not just pretend. Just like a rubber band, he's going to be snapping back to you with all that tension. Book a call with my assistant, Britt. It's in my profile. You can click there. She'll let you know if you need coaching with me or just one of my courses. Helped thousands of women get their person.
A man is going to always tell you when he's cheating on you or when he's thinking about cheating on you. And even if he's flirting with the woman or the man that he's thinking about cheating on you with, he's going to always inform you, queen. You got to stop interrupting him when he talk and listen, because they tell us everything we need to know. You know why men do this? They can't hold water. See, y'all so used to women not being able to hold water. No, it's that op you sleeping with that can't hold water. Let me give you an example. When he come home and he start talking about a woman on the job that's wrecking his nerves and giving him a hard time, and she act like she ignorant, and he don't like the way she do her job, and she tried to holler at him, but he turned her down because he told her that you a better woman than she'll ever be. That is the woman that he is going to cheat on you with. That is the woman that he's texting and she's texting him. That is the woman that he is thinking about on a daily basis. That is the woman that he goes to work and smile to every day. The one that he is complaining about is the one that he's going to cheat on you with. And I know you probably saying to yourself, no, all the bad things he said about this woman, I don't believe he gonna do that, auntie. Because he told me he don't like this woman. He get on her, she get on his nerves. He even went to the supervisor and said he was gonna have her written up. No, sweetheart. It's bullshit. The woman that he telling you not to worry about is the one you should be worried about if you're going to be with him. Now, if you don't care nothing about being with him and you just there for the money and for the benefits, this story don't apply to you. It applies to the ones that's looking for something serious, and this man has promised to have a life with them, possibly marriage, kids, or whatever. You need to listen. Yeah, this story applies to you. The woman that he keep complaining about is the woman he's going to cheat on you with. And he's telling you this every time he come home. But you won't listen. I pray you listen. The next time he come home complaining about a woman on his job, or even a man. Yes, I said a man. I pray you listen. I pray you take notes, and I pray that you pray. Because that's a woman or the man he's getting ready to cheat on you with.